Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 161. We're missing a few people. We're missing MVG. We're missing Sean. MVG's out tonight, but Sean, he might be jumping in randomly. We'll see. He wasn't super clear about that, so he might just pop up randomly. But I got some other people here with us. I'm gonna start with Nate here. Nate, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. It was a good week on Nate the Hate. We had a video about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X where we had John Linneman of Digital Foundry join us to talk about the SSD and ray tracing and how those two features could revolutionize gaming, or maybe they're just buzzwords that Sony and Microsoft are leaning on to sell the next gen consoles. For that answer, you'll have to listen to the podcast.
You had a couple videos this week, didn't you?
Yeah, the other two are just kind of results of the week itself. I wasn't planning on talking about any of the Last of Us 2 stuff, but then the release date was announced, and then Sony caught the leakers, so it was kind of...
It was an eventful week.
It was a big week.
Yeah, things just kept falling on our laps.
Eventful week. Very cool. Let's go over to OJ. What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Been a pretty good week in terms of games. We've got Streets of Rage 4, right? Some of you guys got to play the Ninjala beta. I attempted. I know, I saw that post on Twitter. I actually got some matches in and had a lot of fun. I was able to go into the training mode and everything. So been a pretty good week in terms of games, and stuff. So, and yeah, all the Last of Us stuff and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So I had plenty of stuff to do this week in terms of content. So it was fun.
Very good. Evan, what's going on? Evan's here tonight.
A lot of projects going on, and of course we got Streets of Rage, so that was fun week.
Yes, you got that on the Switch, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. So we can go over that too. I heard actually it was pretty good on the Switch, like performance visually and everything.
It plays smoothly.
Yeah, cool. All right, very good. We'll talk about that. And then Jordan, what's going on?
What's going on? Glad to be here. Yeah, busy week full of a lot of stuff happening. Apparently,
it's very bright in your background tonight. Usually it's not. Usually,
yeah. You want me to make it dark and evil again?
No, it's fine.
Bring back the darkness.
You're good. And then we got Max, Dreamcast guy. What's going on?
Oh, man, I finally got my platinum in Final Fantasy VII. I'm very happy. It is a good week.
Very nice. Miss Click is here, but she
might be here. She unmuted her mic.
Yes. I just I had to change my profile picture really quick. We're good though.
Okay. Miss Click, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing great.
Good to have you here.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
What's everyone been up to this week? What have we been playing? I heard a lot of Streets of Rage talk this week.
Streets of Rage. I finally got to it last night. I haven't beaten it. I played like the first 8 levels, but even the first, I played all of it co-op online on Xbox One. It's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Did you get it on Game Pass? Or you buy it?
Yeah, no, I got it on Game Pass because I was
it just popped up.
So
nice.
Sega sent me a code on Steam. Like full disclosure, Sega sent me a copy, but I did it for like playing it on PC. So I was like, I want to check it on Xbox, and since it's Xbox Game Pass, I just installed it and played it.
Yeah, it just kind of popped up. It was like, oh, go ahead and download it on Game Pass. That was nice to have it there, because I think it was $25. I think on all platforms like Switch and everything. I think it was $25.
I think it was 22 when I bought it. They did like a mini sale when it dropped or something.
Yeah, 10% discount on the Switch version at least. I don't know about PS4, but I picked it up on the Switch as well.
Okay. Yeah, I played a couple levels of it and feels good. There's no roll or there's no run either. That's the thing that kind of throws me off a bit. The mobility, it feels very slow. You feel limited in terms of movement from what I played of it. But it feels very old school. Otherwise, visually, it looks great. I think the controls are the best part. Like, it actually feels good, minus not having a way to roll or run around. But Evan, you're a bit further. Sean, I think, beat it. I figured Sean would be on here to really talk about it quite a bit this week. But what everyone else think of Streets of Rage so far? Because I think most people played it here.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool because I grew up with the Streets of Rage games. Back in the day, I played all of the Streets of Rage games, beaten all of them back when I had friends, so it was great. It was great to kind of pick this one up as well. Like you were saying, like the only minor issues would be like kind of not being able to like move a little bit quicker, like movement options, like a roll or something like that, or even, and like, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of your health being also like your specials, that type of stuff is
that's
like,
the way it's always been though.
Yeah, it's always been that way, but I don't know, for some reason I was hoping they would change that.
Well, this is a little more lenient because you can actually get your health back by hitting. So
by hitting them.
What's really cool is your abilities basically disjoint incoming attacks, so you kind of have to do that risk reward where you use it to try to avoid damage, and then you need to get it back, or you'll probably take a lot of damage in return.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I think that you're right about that in terms of like the strategy with it. So I mean, I got used to it. Like at first it was a little jarring, but I was like, oh, okay, this is how it's always been. Like you can't run or anything, but it was intentionally built that way. Because like the old school ones are all just like that too. Like you're just like walking, all like bold, and then you just start punching. You do your little broad shoulder walk. No matter
this
who
is
you
my
are.
normal walk.
When you're about to beat somebody's ass, that's how you walk. When you're about to
It's true. As a person who definitely gets in a lot of fights, that's how I walk up and like, excuse me, gentlemen.
That's exactly how I walked back and then on the schoolyard, so that's how you do it. But no, it was a lot of fun though. I think it's really good. The Switch version, I know Dreamcast guy, you got the Xbox version, but Switch version runs really good. I didn't get a chance to check out online though. But I know, like Evan, you said somebody was talking about the online, how it uses the invite system, right?
Well, it feels like I've heard that other people say this on all consoles. Apparently, the netcode is weird. You get little lag spikes and it freezes. It tries to make sure that everybody, because combos are so important, if one person even gets like 1% of lag, it will pause the game for a millisecond to make sure you're all synced. So when I was playing on an Xbox, it would be fine 95% of the time, but occasionally it would just like freeze. And if you're in the middle of doing stuff, it was very aggravating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Nate, you were mentioning the invite system because you and Evan played together.
Yeah, Evan and I played, I think, the first 4 stages on Switch online, and you could tell that there was lag. You could definitely feel it. But yeah, the invite system is kind of weird on the Switch because you send the invite, Evan accepted it, and he was in the game. And to accept it, it made him restart the game, so it booted him back to the Switch's main screen, restarted the game, and then put him into the lobby. And I mean, it's just an unnecessary step.
Yeah, but it's just utilizing the Nintendo ability to be able to invite people. I'm wondering if it just could invite you even if you're not in game at the time. That'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, no, the lag, it's felt on both ends, so it's not even like a host thing, because Nate even felt it, and he was technically host. So yeah, it does wait. It just, rather than having the one person rubber band around because of their internet connection, it just kind of makes both of you suffer, which is a little weird. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's I'm gonna keep playing through it this week coming up, but I also played, I know Miss Click played it too, is Gears Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you get a code from Microsoft for that?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So Miss Click got a code, just so everyone knows, for that. But I actually got that off of Game Pass PC. So I had that off of there, and then I also had Game Pass on the Xbox, so I got Streets of Rage off there. So I got 2 games off Game Pass this week, which is pretty good.
Nice.
But yeah, right. But Gears Tactics is better than I thought it would be. I'll say that.
Yeah, it kicked my butt at certain parts.
It's
trying to learn everything.
It is a little harder, especially even in the beginning. It's a little harder, but you start to get used to it.
Yeah.
There are some weird things that you got to get kind of used to with Gears. Like they have like the reloading, and then I think that probably, because I saw on Twitter people were mentioning, oh, I forgot to reload, or I wasn't paying attention. You got to pay attention to everything going on. There's a lot, but when it starts working, it's pretty good. It's basically Gears XCOM. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. If you like XCOM, you'll probably like it. There's a lot going on with your different units, and when you're outside of battle, you level them up. You have skill trees for all of them, and they all have 4 different classes in the corners that you go to. And then on the battlefield, you pick up crates that are basically like random drops, like loot boxes, basically, that you pick up and open back at base. But I do like it, and I think they will be able to map it to controller for anyone asking, oh, is it going to be on the Xbox? I think it will be, because I think they can map pretty much all of it to, like, it looks like they already kind of have it set up to be mapped to a controller for the Xbox.
It's not on Xbox yet?
No, it hit PC. I think you can use a controller now on the PC, but it's a strategy game, and I'm right here on
You'll
the PC,
probably have to like hit the same trigger a couple times to like filter through the menus. Because like on keyboard, you can just like press F1, 2, 3. I think there'll be a little bit more button presses, but I mean, for people, it'll just kind of become muscle memory at a certain point. But yeah, the reload definitely was like the main thing. Like you go to like throw yourself into Overwatch with all your points left, where you should have like used one to reload. So the Overwatch was away. Like it, it was really, I don't know. It was fun though. I really did like it. I've never played a Gears game before, so I also. Yeah, well, I'd always heard about it because like all of my friends growing up, like they had the system for it, but they would always talk about how like that's like the only game to make them cry and all this stuff. They love the game so much. I think it's also cool though because it's like like a prequel technically. So I think it's a good introduction.
Anyone who likes strategy, if you like strategy RPGs, you'll probably like Gears Tactics. So even if you like Fire Emblem, you might like Gears Tactics.
I have not played Gears of War Tactics at all. I do consider myself a Gears fan. I read the books, the terrible comics. Is it actually have lore and a storyline and stuff, or is it basically just fights? It's actually pretty good. Does it have like good cutscenes and stuff?
Yeah, full cutscenes. Yeah. It looks just like it's just a Gears of War game, like the cutscenes and everything.
They've thrown in a lot of effort for it, but it's a prequel to all of it, like 12 years or something.
Oh, so it's like the start of a Merchant's Day or whatever.
Literally, like right at pretty much.
Yeah,
that's okay. I'm gonna check it out.
All right, so is it the Pendulum Wars?
No, it's definitely Merchant's Day because I saw the Locust, so it's after the Pendulum Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I would recommend people check it out, and it's on Game Pass PC. So
yeah, when they
there you go.
Like an Xbox One version, for sure, I'll check it out when they have an Xbox One version of the game.
Yeah, it says the game takes place 12 years before the original Gears of War. There you go.
What's the main character's name? Like what's his deal?
Shoot. I forgot his name.
His name is Gun. Chainsaw Gun.
Big McLarge huge.
Yeah, thank you.
Gabriel Diaz. Gabe Diaz.
Gabe Diaz. Is he like related to anybody from the main games? Is he like a?
I think that's Dom's brother.
Is it Dom's brother?
I can't remember. No, he was Dominic Santiago. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know characters.
I've played the original Gears 1, 2, 3. I played and beat all of those Gears. So I'm definitely interested in it.
The unspeakable one.
I think it plays well enough to where if you enjoy strategy RPGs, you would like it. So we'll see if it comes to the Xbox. I don't know. I assume it is. So
I thought it was. I was like, when I was seeing the game, I was like, this looks cool. I was like, okay, Xbox, and all of a sudden it was just like they offered like PC code, and I was like, I'm good.
Oh, so okay. The main character is Kate's father.
Ah, cool.
Okay. Nice.
So good game. I would check it out. I've played I think I've played 8 stages of it now, so I'm still pretty early on. Because I was bouncing between that and I was bouncing into Trials of Mana as well as Streets of Rage. So I think my characters are level 35 in it now, so I don't know how much further I am in. But I think I'm like 11 hours in. So I think I still have another third of the. I think I'm 2/3 in.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
To go. Yeah. So I still have a bit. To go. Yeah, on that one. But I'm enjoying it. Trials of Mana still. I mean, it does feel very traditional. I'll say that. So I'm kind of just going through, I guess, the motions sort of when I'm playing through it, Evan. Like I'm to the point where I'm visiting and getting the different elementals now, but it kind of opened up a little bit. So I'm swimming around.
Oh, so you're on the chicken turtle.
I'm swimming around. Yep.
Chicken turtle.
But I mean, you use that a good bit to get around. So I've already visited and started grabbing elementals.
You're at the tier 1 of traveling. You'll keep going.
Yeah. So I'm getting there, but I'm on like the last part for that, I think, because they drop stars on the map and you go to them. So I got most of those now. But Jordan, hit us with what you've been playing, man. Let us know.
It's been kind of a busy week for me with other stuff, but I put in a lot more time in Animal Crossing again now that the certain events are in the past and I can focus on fishing and stuff fine. And it's been good. I finally have been terraforming and placing certain patterns to make my town, and I've been having fun doing that when I can. Put a little bit more, but I put some more time into Persona 5 when I had some like actual sit down time. And I really must say, like, this game, like right off the bat, like the first major story arc of the mission is the more you get into it, the more serious of things it deals with. And I wasn't like expecting that from this, and I think it's pretty good so far at how the game is presenting it. So I'm having fun with that. But anything else wise, I haven't had too much time to jump into or try anything else. So
okay, easy enough. What about Nate? Hit us with it.
Aside from Streets of Rage 4, I've been playing, the hell's the name of it? Slaying 2? A sequel to Slaying, I guess. It's just a 2D game. You run across 2 different fields of plain with a sword. You just stab monsters. Comes out next week on the Switch. I guess the first game was popular. I don't know. And what was this? Void Bastards.
Wait, hold on. That's out on the Switch in a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, next
Yes,
week. Yeah,
next week.
Yeah, I played that on the Xbox, and I thought it was okay. It's kind of like a roguelike.
It's like a
first-person shooter kind of game in space with like cel-shaded visuals.
Yeah, and you just collect loot.
I thought it was okay. I thought Evan played that and liked it a lot.
Wait, which one?
Modding
chat real quick.
Void Bastards on the Xbox.
I played it when it was early on, so it didn't really have a ton to do. It felt repetitive when I was playing it, but I think they added stuff. I'm not sure.
It still feels like you just kind of like you choose to dock a ship or not, then there's certain enemies on it. Some you cannot defeat. Others are simple, like a janitor. You just shoot the janitor in the head 3 times, he dies. You collect the loot, go back to the ship, and you survive, and you just keep progressing. Like, I'm not sure if there's more to it than that. There's
many interesting ways if you know the ship that you're on a little bit, like using airlocks to try to kill the very large, very unstoppable creatures, and different methods of handling how you go into places and loot stuff. So there's bits and pieces that got really interesting early on, but like it even felt samey to me when I was going through it. So I don't know if they added a lot to it to make it like a more interesting roguelike style game.
Yeah, I figured I'd play it in like anticipation of the Switch release, and now I'm just kind of like...
Have you died in it yet?
Yes, and then I came back as a new character. And
how many times have you died?
Just once.
I'd almost say keep doing it just because it's interesting. The amount of buffs and debuffs each individual character gets are crazy. Like you can have a guy that's just straight colorblind, like everything's just black and white.
Yeah, that happened.
Really?
That happened to me in the game. I was like, oh. I was really annoyed because it was like it kind of threw off some of the stuff.
Yeah, one person had one person had like blackout episodes, so you'll be walking around and everything was just cut out, and you're just like, wait, what?
I didn't have that. That's funny.
Yeah, like my first guy would just randomly sneeze,
and it lets people around. Yeah, lets people around.
What the hell? And then the next person I had, when they went to reload the gun, they would fumble around and screw up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's interesting how they mix it up.
And when you get a good roll, you really don't want to like let that person die. So you try so hard. You're like, no.
It kind of reminds me. What was the game? Was it Rogue Legacy? Where it's it's a 2D scrolling game, but each character, it's a roguelike, and each character come back and they might have a different like characteristic to them, like being colorblind. I think that was called Rogue Legacy. It's been a long time since I played that one. Yeah. But that's actually pretty funny. I didn't know there was one of them that like would like black out. Mine was just came back colorblind, and I was like, what is this? So I didn't really understand what was going on at first.
There's a lot of defects and a lot of bonuses. So it's just...
I thought there was something wrong with the game. I was like, did I mess it up? No, okay. Because it was just straight up like it was just like black and white, and I thought like I messed up like the color and like
I blew my my graphics card out.
Yeah. What about Max? What have you been up to?
I platinumed Final Fantasy VII. That took a lot of my week. That was really, honestly, that was a fun platinum to finally finish off the last couple things. And randomly, I've gotten back into Final Fantasy XIV. A bunch of my real life friends, because we can't hang out because of quarantine, have started playing it again. So I've just been kind of teaching it. Final Fantasy XIV is such a nice community, and I kind of forgot that. So I've just been playing it again, and like every dungeon, people are so polite. I'm teaching my friends that they're having a blast. So it's kind of been our way to like, it's a good game to hang out in, even if you don't give a crap about leveling up or questing.
It's on the PS4 or the PC you're playing that on?
It's on both. I own it on both. I'm playing it on PC right now because we're typing a lot. When we're not in Discord, we're typing. And honestly, my keyboard, I keep losing my PS4 keyboard. So it's easier like this.
Very nice. Very nice. What about Miss Click? We talked about Gears Tactics. Is that the big game?
I think the only thing... Oh, I finally got to play the Cindered Shadows DLC for Fire Emblem.
Ooh, what do you think?
I liked it. But it definitely like those battles are very long. I think it took me like an hour and a half on just like one of them.
Yeah. Did you play on normal or hard?
I played like normal. I basically was like, I haven't played this game in months. Like I'm gonna be trash at it, but also everybody's like, this game is like you're gonna get really tilted. It's gonna take like a whole stream just for one battle. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I trust you guys. You haven't really steered me wrong before. I can't say that very much longer, I feel like, but so I did it. And yeah, it took me like an hour and a half on one of the battles. And I was like, legitimately like, I don't think I've ever been salty from this game before, but like the escape map where you have to escape from like the golems or whatever, like, dude, Like I hate escape maps. I hate them so much. It was stress, but it was really good overall. I like how they incorporated it in with some new elements. I don't want to like spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it yet, who might want to. Yeah, it's enjoyable though. I do like the dialogue. I do like the fact that you can play with all the house leaders in battle, other than like the tutorial, you know, in the beginning of the original game. So it was really, really cool. I wish there was more DLC, but you know, it's whatever.
No, it's over. Click. We got to move on. We must move on.
But it's so good.
We got to work on the next. We got to work on like Genealogy of the Holy War. There's got to be like we need an Echoes game now. We need one of the old ones brought into this engine. You know. So
yeah,
we got to move on.
They handled the same way. I'm not upset about that because this was really enjoyable. It didn't feel like a chore at all. I liked it a lot.
Did you beat the whole thing?
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What about OJ?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about Streets of Rage, but I also played a game that had some people kind of upset because they weren't able to play because of the times, and that was Ninjala. You know, everyone's been, at least some people at least, have been talking about this game. Is it like Splatoon? You know, how is it going to be? And it doesn't really play like Splatoon. Just the art style is somewhat similar. Yeah. But the game, once you actually get in, it's actually really good. And this game has a chance to be pretty big on the Switch. It's free to play. And essentially what you do is like you get these different melee weapons, and then you can just beat the crap out of people. It's like you're like a little ninjas. You're running around. You have different skills. There's combos. What's up?
The bubble gum. I thought that was
yeah.
So cute.
You do bubblegum jutsu. That's how you use like to block. You can use it to do movement. Like let's say like you want to like dash around in the air. You can run up on walls. It's actually really cool. It's like a melee themed type of Splatoon game. The only thing that I didn't like outside of not being able to play as much as I would have liked to because the servers were just jacked up. But the only thing was like once you get into like a clash with somebody, it kind of like turns into like a rock paper scissors situation, you know, where like you pick a direction and one direction beats another direction beats another direction. That's the only thing. Like I would have liked them to put that to like a button challenge instead, because it just seems like you're just like guessing, and it's just like luck whoever wins those clashes, and those are so crucial because you can start comboing up. Like one combo can kill somebody if you have like a fully powered, you know, weapon in the game. Like if so that's one thing I would like to change. But outside of that, I thought it was really fun. It was fluid. It was 60 frames per second. They've got all sorts of customization options, so it's kind of like Splatoon and Fortnite. A lot of these different games that you're playing, you can customize your gear and everything like that. You can have different winning animations, startup animations. So I like it. I think it's fun. It's coming out this month, I think a couple days before Xeno.
Well, that's soon.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty soon here. They might have another beta thingy that they're going to do, but overall I thought it was cool, and it's free to play, so it was fun.
Yeah, I'd be curious how they I guess they're going to monetize it with some kind of battle pass or gotcha system.
Yeah,
have to.
They have to, because the game's free, so it is some type of like battle pass that you can pick up. That's
probably be emotes or something. It has to be, right?
Yeah, it's like emotes. It's like certain type of gear, things like that. That doesn't have an effect like weapons and all that.
Advantage.
No advantage. But like weapons and all that, you'll be able to earn those and you know, do all that stuff normally. But I do like the game. I think it's super fun, and it has a lot of potential, especially with it being free to play. I think it comes at a good time to be free to play as well. You know, it comes at a good time as well. So to be free to play, so I like it.
Very cool. Very cool. I think we got Evan did Streets of Rage. I think we got everyone, right? Yeah. All right. Very cool. Evan, we got a Discord question.
This one's for Jordan. What are some of your favorite 3D Blu-rays to watch on PlayStation VR?
Ooh. Wow, that is specific.
I mean, oddly specific. Very oddly. I mean, I have a regular other 3D TV. I could use that too. But yeah, for sure. PlayStation VR 3D. Jurassic Park's 3D Blu-ray has incredible 3D. They did a good job with that one. There's funny enough, it was a film making fun of the whole 3D thing, but ironically had really good 3D, and that's Harold and Kumar's A Very 3D Christmas or whatever they called it. That movie has incredible 3D, but it's joking about how 3D is stupid, and it's pretty funny that it actually has some of the best 3D.
Don't they like stick candy canes out of the screen and stuff? Like, what?
There's a part at the beginning where eggs are being thrown at like a car, and they chuck an egg, and the egg comes so far out of the screen. I'm like, this is really good 3D for such a movie, just making fun of it. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in there like that. But yeah, Avatar, some of the best 3D. That 3D Blu-ray is incredible. Yeah, there's good ones out there, stuff like that.
All right, very good. We have another Discord question, Evan.
What's everyone's most played game time-wise?
Oh my gosh.
Borderlands.
For me, it'd probably be World of Warcraft, just because time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
time
can see that being for a lot of people. Is that I'm gonna say probably Halo 3.
I've calculated I've spent about 11,000 hours in World of Warcraft over the course of all those years.
I think that's gonna be it for a lot of people is World of Warcraft. It had this run. What was it? That was like the mid 2000s, right? Where there's this run of World of Warcraft where that's all people played.
Yeah, well, and they just you had a treadmill of content. It was one of those games that you couldn't stop playing or you'd get behind, and so you just played it and played it and played it. Ugh, I wasted so many years and years and years playing that all day, every day.
Let's see. I can go to some of the super chats here. Rusty says we actually got another first party Nintendo Switch game released after Animal Crossing. Port for Versus Wrecking Crew. There we go. Symphonic Balance says, good evening, everyone here on the podcast. So now that we're in May, any predictions on when you guys think certain companies will do their presentation in which month? May, June, July? Well, we know Microsoft's doing something next week. But after that, I think they said they're going to do another one in June or July. I think they'll just do it in June, like late June.
There's rumors that PlayStation's also going to show something this month. I do think this is purely me speculating. I do think that we're going to finally see the PlayStation 5 box this month. I don't know when. Yeah. I have a feeling they're going to finally come on stage, and they have to start hyping it up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be towards the end of this month or right at the beginning of June. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking. But yeah, it's soonish, so it's getting here. Skylar says, any chance Dreamcast guy could get Mooch on the podcast?
I could, yeah. Do y'all know the Mooch, right?
I was on a couple of his shows, yeah.
Yeah. Mooch is awesome. Seriously, I'll talk to him. Yeah, seriously, we'll get the Mooch on.
That'll work. Cedric says, and my friends thinks it's absurd that on Halo Master Chief Collection PC version that controller players get aim assist versus keyboard and mouse. I just told him to get good.
Yeah, they have to have it. So I was watching a stream where someone was playing it. The aim assist is so strong, you can kind of sweep it. If you're sniping, you can like sweep it across an empty field. It'll sort of start gravitating towards players.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's where the guy's hiding. It's like it's a little bit too strong. Yeah, aimbot basically.
What do you think about that, Evan? The controller having that aim assist on PC.
It's the only way they can counter
because you don't really seem to didn't seem to like it that
I don't
much.
like it because it cuts kind of skill of shooting out for controller users, and you don't even really. The problem is there's a module you can buy that you can plug your keyboard and mouse, or actually just your keyboard and mouse into, and it emulates it as a controller. So I can have aim assist on a keyboard and mouse.
That's the best of both worlds.
That's what they did in Destiny 2 when that game came out first, and the people who were doing it were charging money to go up the ranks in the that competitive PvP thing that would come out once in a while.
Oh man,
they would boost your rank. They're like, do you want to get this gear? We'll boost you.
And if this is about Warzone, right? That we're talking about, because I'm kind of modding things right now. But
on Halo.
On Halo,
Master Collection, yeah.
Well, because even with Warzone, I know Dr. Disrespect started using a controller recently because he said screw keyboard and mouse, because if all you have to do is go into your actual aim down sights and just kill someone, like why not just do that?
Yeah,
he was mowing people down.
He was killing everyone.
He did 2 days. It was so funny.
It's literally aimbot, dude.
I think Sean's actually going to get into Halo 2 when that drops on the Master Chief Collection on PC. So he's finally going to start playing some PC games. But I told him to get a controller because it's much easier. Laura says, do you think Naughty Dog Disaster is going to cost Sony customers? It was last straw that made me go with Xbox Series X. You know what? We'll talk about the potential for sales or any of that pretty soon, Lars. So we'll hold on to that one for when we get into that next. But that is an interesting piece of conversation there. Cedric says favorite Streets of Rage character of all time.
Max.
Let's hear it.
Skate.
Oh, okay.
The new one's Floyd, right?
Skate or Blaze.
Yeah, the new one's Floyd, right? Because he's pretty awesome. I love the grappler thing with him.
Max was the original grappler, right? Wasn't that the giant guy in Streets of Rage 2?
But did he have a get over here arm? Like, it's so good.
Nobody did body slam people out of the ground so hard you could tell that there was about to be those coffin dudes just carrying them off.
Decepticon says, fingers crossed we don't get any leaks for Metroid Prime 4. I want to go into that game with as little story info as possible.
So you know what, Samus, she actually does some pretty great. No, I'm joking. I
don't know if you heard this, but she got boobies in that armor.
You know what I think? You know what I think would be the biggest leak is if we found out what the game looks like before they get a chance to show it to us, like gameplay wise, or like any screenshots, any of that. If that leaked out, especially if it was like in development still, that would be, I think, a bigger deal than hearing about like what some of the story is going to be. Just that people are really curious what that game's going to look like on the Switch with Retro Studios doing it.
The thing about Metroid, though, especially with Metroid Prime games, I mean, you might be able to know the story or whatever the case is, but it's always been about like the gameplay. The gameplay has always been it's always been the most fascinating thing. So even if something did potentially get leaked, which Nintendo games have gotten leaked before, I think Fire Emblem had a little bit of a leak too. Like it's about the atmosphere, it's about soaking that in, it's about the gameplay, it's about the adventure. So I mean, it wouldn't be as big of a
You know what I want to leak? I want the original one to leak, the one that they had to restart completely. I want to see what to see what made them restart.
I'm working on it, and maybe we'll have something. I'm working on it, but I'm almost positive that was an action RPG. I'm almost positive it was an action RPG. It was like an evolved version of Metroid Other M. That's what I'm guessing, but I'm trying to find what that game looked like.
Wait, what?
Would it have turn-based combat?
Metroid Prime 4 was like Metroid Other M, but it was like an action RPG though. That's what I think that they were trying to do with the game, and it ended up just not working. I don't think it was a first-person adventure game like normal. I don't think it was, or it was a hybrid like Metroid Other M. Like there was first-person parts, and then there was third-person parts. Like they definitely tried something different with that game, and it ended up jacking everything up. Because that rarely ever happens with Nintendo, to where they literally fire a developer on working on something for a game. Like a Bandai Namco makes Smash Brothers for them. I mean, they're big partners with Nintendo. I mean, like they haven't done that with Koei Tecmo made Fire Emblem, you know. So like that hasn't happened.
They did a good job with Assault too. So they did Star Fox Assault, right? Yeah, that was good. So I was surprised.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Nintendo's worked with multiple different third party Japanese companies to make their franchises before. F-Zero, GX, Sega and stuff. So that's never really happened, at least that we've known of, like to where they just said, screw it, you guys are done, then back to the original. So I really want to find out what that looked like, man. Like I'm trying though. It's hard.
Michael says, keep up the good work, working through my second Final Fantasy VII playthrough while waiting on Streets of Rage 4 Collector's Edition from Limited Run.
Did
anyone else get that? Anyone get that?
Didn't Sean go? He was gonna pick it up.
I thought Sean said he was gonna get that.
I thought Sean said he did get it, but a lot of people didn't. Or was it MVG? Somebody said they did get it. I talked to a lot of people who said that it sold out so fast before they could type in their credit card information. It sold out. Like that's how fast it went.
There was I had a press release that showed up in the inbox, and I looked at it and I laughed because it would have probably only affected MVG, because the physical copy for Little Town Hero got delayed.
Oh no!
Yeah, so MVG and the two other people that bought it are gonna have to wait a little longer. The Waltman says, thoughts on Japan spending roughly $2 billion to move all manufacturing out of China, since this might affect both Sony and Nintendo. I actually had not heard much about that until he put this comment in, and I looked it up, and yes, it says that Japan actually incentivized and spent money to start moving manufacturing outside of China for the supply chain. That I don't know if that's going to happen immediately or anything like that. It's probably going to take some time, but that I will be curious to see how that would affect Sony or Nintendo. I had to look into that a little bit more, though. That could be interesting. That's like the big holdup right now, is obviously there were issues with manufacturing with the virus going on in the world. They had to shut down manufacturing in China at certain parts. So
big time. That's apparently that's one of the specific things. Apparently PlayStation 5 is really done. They have like parts ready to put together. There's just there's not enough people to literally screw the consoles together. So that's why the rumor is right now that PlayStation 5 is going to have a little bit of a shortage this year. It's just not possible to get enough done.
Absolutely on that one.
Not surprised.
Okay, cool. So we're good there. Did I miss? Do we have another super chat?
I mean, people are still dropping.
I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, I think I was gonna cut that. Actually, we'll do this one. Johnny R says, question for Jordan: is it better to buy Pokemon cards in single packs or bundles? Also, love all you guys. Keep doing your thing.
Pokemon question here. Interesting.
Yes. Better to buy Pokemon cards single packs or bundles?
Usually, it used to be bundles. You'd kind of have an established rate of you're going to have so many good pulls out of here. But as of recent, they've kind of switched things up where you could totally get nothing out of a bigger like put together bundle. So I've been having better lucks with singles, but that differs for everyone. But I would say booster box always the way to go, but not every time recently. So
Okay.
maybe singles be the way to go.
Okay, cool. We'll come back to the super chats a bit later. I do also want to go over to Streamlabs because I saw that we had a few come in there as well. Evan, do we have a Discord question before we move over to Last of Us? Actually, we had a Last of Us question in there.
Yeah, we can open with that, I guess, if you want.
Okay, let's open with that as we go to Last of Us. We're not going to do any no spoilers here.
Yeah, this is supposed to be spoiler free, so that's what we're going to try for you guys.
We won't be seeing anything specific, mostly because apparently Naughty Dog's also going on like this weird copyright spree right now.
Yeah, apparently if you describe the spoilers, they'll delete your video. So we're not going into it just because we want this Spawncast to survive.
I don't even know what they are, so please don't spoil me either.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll be careful with that.
For anyone who has seen them, what are your thoughts?
Spoiler right there.
Complete indifference. So don't attack us, Sony. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Go ahead, Max. What are your very general thoughts?
They're shocking. They're very shocking. And I don't want to say more than that because I feel like any more than that, the spoilers. Yeah. So the thing is, they were leaked hours of footage, and if we do use too many descriptors, it's going to kind of give stuff away. So let's just say it is shocking.
I'm gonna say divisive as well. We could throw that in there.
That's
divisive. It's gonna come out. People are gonna play through it, and it's gonna be a lot of back and forth fighting, arguing over that week of time after people have beaten it, trying to say if it was a good way to go with it. That's what I'll say. And to be honest, it sounds like we don't really know all this stuff anyway because the incomplete on some of the leaks, I'll say. So. But it's going to be really interesting when that game comes out.
Yeah, I honestly think that's going to be the big debate of the year. Is people kind of just, they're going to be dissecting it and playing it. Let's see how it sells.
I will tell you this. I've been more excited for Ghost of Tsushima over Last of Us Part 2. Okay, because it's got that Way of the Samurai look, and I really like Way of the Samurai. And after seeing the Last of Us 2 leaks, I think I was right to be more excited for Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh,
I'll agree. I was more for Last of Us, and now that I've seen a bunch, I do think that this has kind of tainted my hype. And now I'm very curious about Ghost now, also because we haven't seen much. Now it's kind of just that like the magic of what we don't know. So I'm definitely buying both. So
real quick, welcome to Jason, new member, Brandy Berry. Thank you for joining up. And then we also have Beverly Carter, new member as well. Evan has some of those emotes in there. You can check those out. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, Nate also saw them. Nate, what'd you think of the? It's tough because it's not in context, but just from reading it, kind of stepping away and thinking about it for a second, what'd you think of it?
That's not a topic I'm going to touch.
Okay. That's the correct answer. That's the only correct answer.
Nate, you're going to have a hard time in this topic right now when we go into it with Last of Us. Actually, no, because we're not going to just talk about it. We're going to talk about how we think it happened as well. So that's a little less polarizing, right?
Well, we do have a kind of another question. If you found out
Nate
exactly who leaked.
Nate doesn't want to find his way into another YouTube video where they're playing music behind him. That's
Yeah, but the other question we have is if you found out who leaked it, what would you do? Would you out them publicly or?
No, not at all.
Out that? Well, no, I don't think you can because they're going to court over it once they get everything sorted out.
Steal all their doorknobs.
Someone's getting sued bad, obviously. Yeah. Welcome to another new member, Felix. Thanks for joining up. Appreciate it. Yes, they're going to court. They're looking for blood.
Well, and so a lot of people in chat, I know y'all sometimes say that you're not from America. In America, we have a specific thing in our legal system, which is when a court case is going, you can't talk about it. So honestly, I think that the person has probably already been found, or people, they're probably already being sued and will probably never know their names or faces because of the American court system. Typically, after they sue you, they make you sign a contract so you can never even talk about being sued.
Dude, I'm telling you, so the leaks that they put out there, it is devastating, I would say, for for Last of Us.
They were
I need
party, right?
I need somebody to DM me the leaks, please.
It's ugly, dude. It's bad because those are the points that are you're not supposed to know about at all going into it, because they're so impactful, I guess is what people would say, and that's why it's so divisive online. Like it's like great.
I want to ask.
It's practically the ending. I'll just say that.
Okay. I was gonna say, is it endgame stuff? Jeez.
Yes, it's
bad.
And that's why people are so and that's why people are so upset, is that it's very in-game stuff.
Yes. So that's the biggest thing though, is we'll know more. Right? Like when they go to court, that stuff you can look up and everything.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, after the case is done, yeah. Sometimes,
yeah.
So
either way, they'll find out. But I mean, Sony did at least respond, and they used some corporate speak, I guess we'd say, for how to describe the individuals. And they just said they're not associated with Sony.
Yeah, I don't believe their statement at all.
So
I think it's
how the heck?
So here's the thing, and a lot of people have followed up about this. The legal term of who is and is not employee and who is and is not affiliated with a company is very specific. If you don't have like Naughty Dog on your name tag, technically you could say you're not a Naughty Dog affiliate. So I'm still betting this is somebody that was being paid by Naughty Dog. I still think that this was a beta tester who was testing the game out. There's like a bug tester or a translator. I definitely think that this was a developer on some level who leaked.
I think it was a contractor who was getting paid that like wasn't technically employed by Naughty Dog, but they had a contract that they were getting paid out for. I mean, they could be doing anything. I mean, sure, they could be testing it, but they could be, I don't know, outsourcing work to them to help out to get things done faster. Because they did mention, the other thing that we running into is what was like a month and a half ago, not even, we had that whole article about crunch come out about Naughty Dog. So they were already under the microscope, and then this happens. So
the Annie Hennig, everybody, I quoted that in one of my videos. Annie Hennig talked about the fact that in 10 and a half years at Naughty Dog, she never worked less than 80 hours a week. She said it was all 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, and so that's why it's easy for me to imagine a situation where you're just like, I'm uploading this to YouTube. I don't give a shit.
So this is it. The other thing that's really interesting that I noticed is the leak came like right after they went to remote work from home.
I was gonna ask, did anybody do we know of cases of being like fired or furloughed or anything? Like maybe someone was upset about that. So they took something home that they shouldn't have.
Nate, what was that Reddit post?
Yeah,
I made a video on that Reddit post too.
I did too.
Reddit post
Jason Trust.
Ridiculous.
So the thing is, the Reddit post. So Nate's already talked to us about this. The Reddit post is definitely fake. Here's the thing: we know that that Reddit post specifically is fake, but some of the stuff in there may be correct. That person definitely doesn't know the leaker. They got certain details in it definitely wrong. But I do think that there's probably a lot of angry employees.
It's so tough because you hear about the crunch and you assume like it reads like someone tried to make a backstory for the situation as like fan fiction, kind of just by trying to piece everything
villain
together.
Origin story.
Basically, someone tried to come up with it and write it all out and everything. But you know what? It is impressive to see how far Naughty Dog's fallen since like the start of the generation to now, or even just from last year to now, even or
PS3 to PS4. I mean, we got Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and The Last of Us all on the PS3, and on the PS4 we got The Last of Us remastered and
Watch Dogs.
Well, and the thing I was going to say that I think it's important to note, Uncharted 4 sold like insane numbers. Uncharted 4 became a pack-in. I think they said the sales numbers once. Like Last of Us 4 sold a lot. Or sorry, not a lot. Uncharted 4 sold a crazy amount, and I think that gave them a lot of power to do whatever they want. I think it's the thing of Naughty Dog just kept selling that game, and so they were able to just probably...
Last of Us is like 17 million or something like that, which is I mean that's really good for a mature rated game, because those are already a little slightly harder to sell, obviously, than like a teen rated game or something. That's why you always see these companies try to get that teen rating if they can. But like those are good numbers for it. But like now I'm looking at it and like, man, Naughty Dog went from like this fan favorite company to like now being so like controversial online. It's so crazy.
People are upset. I don't know. This is not good.
Definitely not the only one.
Wait, we can't really explain why they're mad without ruining it.
I think though at the same time, like I feel that the pressure from the buildup of Uncharted 1, 2, 3, Uncharted 4, Last of Us, like when you make these type of games, like it's not like they talked about how it's going to get easier for them with the PS4, but I don't necessarily think it did. I think
you're right. I forgot that statement. Yeah, you're right.
They said, "Oh, it's going to be easier. We're going to be." I don't think it was easier. There's no way in hell you go from making 3 Uncharteds and then making The Last of Us on one platform, then go to the next one and have trouble. They've been making The Last of Us Part 2 for the whole generation.
It's been a long time,
you know, for the whole generation, because it was just they remastered the previous one. That obviously didn't take as much work. They did make Uncharted 4, right? Like you said, it was great. They made the Lost, that little deal, that little extra little DLC pack thingy. That was good, but compared to their previous output, not very good at all. And now, you know, this has came out with some of the leaks and everything, so it's just I think that they might need to change up their style heading into PS5. I think they need to change things up a little bit. Maybe make it a little bit more gameplay focused and not so heavy on what that Jonathan, I think it was Jonathan Cooper, what he talked about with what they do. They might need to change up their style a little bit in order to help the employees. And then, of course, in order to make games a little bit more efficiently.
So one of the rumors is that a huge chunk of the staff has been totally cycled out over the course of the last year and a half. So some people have speculated up to 70% of the staff has just been cycled out of people either burning out and quitting or just not. I think it's a toxic work environment.
I will say. I think Schreier is gonna really look into this. So I'll be kind of waiting for his report on it, because he obviously has ties to Naughty Dog staff, because some people from Naughty Dog were posting on Twitter about it.
Somewhere there was that one guy, I read it in one of my videos. One of the guys talked about how he quit the job because he felt like it was just so inefficient. Like he had a whole tweet chain about what it was like working at Naughty Dog, and the last tweet was a more efficient studio would have shipped The Last of Us in 2019.
That was that animator Cooper. Yeah, Cooper. Yeah. That's what he was saying. So that's what I'm hoping that they, after all this is done, because I like Naughty Dog. Like, they really evaluate how they make games and make it games and stop worrying about all this cinematic. I mean, I think that's the problem. You get these leaks, get these issues, and the way that they make the games, it just creates so many problems. It's expensive as hell too. That's not the only way that to make games in terms of pulling people in with the story and all that. There's other ways to do it. So I think they really need to evaluate how they go about it.
Let me ask Nate, how do you think that this got out there? What do you think the series of events that caused the most anticipated game for a lot of people of this generation, story-wise, to just kind of leak out there?
I mean, it's really impossible to say. If we go with the independent contractor angle and we say it's not motivated due to unpaid work or anything of that nature, then it just seems like it's a naive employee who got a little relaxed with the situation and like, I want to be internet famous. If we go with another potential angle, which is that somebody gained access to servers and Naughty Dog and Sony did not have a key basically to lock the game behind, because we've seen leaks this year with Final Fantasy VII Remake demo and even Resident Evil 3 were both accessed on Sony servers. If we assume the same happened with Last of Us Part 2, then it was just a random person who got the game early and said, I'm going to leak a bunch of sensitive content early because that's what we do. So we really don't know which one it actually is. Was it motivated by an employee who didn't get paid, or was it just a random person who wanted to be a troll online? Because some of the footage that people have seen, some was in Portuguese, some was in English. And Sony specifically said, we have the individuals. So it wasn't just one rogue person. It was at least 2 people. But if it did leak server side, you would have expected that the link would have spread across the internet, and it didn't.
That's a good point, because if they would have definitely passed it around on the web, like in Discord servers or something. They would have talked to each other about it and be like, here's the link, go check it. Those things spread, you're right. So that is the weird part, is that if it was basically stolen off of their servers and shared, you feel like people would have actually been playing it already on hacked PS4s or something. But I guess how many of those we saw? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 or 5 videos pop up for this thing.
There was that, and then those were tinier sections. The real thing was like a 2-hour master cut, and people divided that 2-hour big video into the 5 videos you see going around.
Where did they leak to?
went on YouTube.
So
YouTube. Oh my god.
So what's really weird is the way that the leaks originally were found is basically somebody uploaded it like a Let's Play. It's a bunch of like 15-minute chunk videos, and that's why now people have them in these little chunks. It's really there, and that's why you can't even look them up, because if you try and even find that stuff, the screenshots of it, even the thumbnails are such leaks, because it's just the dude like uploaded like, hey guys, I'm Let's Play. Like there's no audio, but it's basically a Let's Play. It's so weird.
Yeah, so they one day at the beginning of April, I think it was like April 3rd or 4th or something, like 10 minutes of gameplay like got just uploaded and published, and it wasn't anything crazy, not like how it is now, but it's almost like they wanted, or they were showing Sony that they had this stuff. I don't know, it was so weird, because then they waited another 4 weeks to then post the rest of it that had all the spoilers. So it was this weird, like, I almost wonder if there was a bit more to the story, like they were trying to get something from. So I don't know. It's so weird how all this happened.
One of the theories going around that I think could be very valid is like a lot of the Naughty Dog employees have been there for a long time. A lot of those dudes are in their 30s and 40s. Somebody could have a son that's like 20 years old and knew his dad was working on The Last of Us, and he just tried to upload it for some views. I mean, straight up, it could have just been like, it wasn't even an employee. It was just some dipshit kid. Because that happens. There are some crazy
20 years old though.
No, because a couple of years ago, remember there was that interesting. What is it? The guy, one of the
360.
No, so the 360, but also what was that cell phone? One of the new Apple phones that wasn't even revealed yet.
Oh yeah,
the main
remember
CEO had it his phone. His son filmed a review of it and put it on YouTube. An unannounced phone. It's
that's like, funny.
Why would you think that's okay? And everybody was like, "Well, I guess this phone exists."
I mean that's funny, but like this is like. This is going to be ugly for whoever's parents that's going to.
Yeah,
that's not going to be good.
Thanks for getting me sued, son. By the way, you're mega grounded.
Yeah, I'll see you in 15 years after I get out of prison.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're going to house prison. I'm going to super prison.
It's gonna be bad.
They're gonna get fined a certain amount. I don't know if they won't go to prison, but get fined.
Somebody was. I saw some lawyers saying that like typically in these court cases, you sue people for the possible amount of money lost, and the fact that it's like $100 million project minimum, and they're probably planning on making $500 million off it. Like if they even sue him for 1% of sales, are they gonna sue this guy for $5 million? Like he's so. I mean, he's dumb.
There was a similar thing that happened, I guess. I think we've spoke about it before. I think on about what New Super Mario Bros. One guy like leaked like the ice or whatever of the whole game online.
Oh yeah,
and Nintendo, it was like an Australian dude. Nintendo sued him, and he ended up being having to pay back 1.5 million, the equivalent of 1.5 million. So he has to just basically pay that for the rest of his life. He has to pay back in installments of $1.5 million.
They're like collecting every month on it.
Yeah, they're literally collecting. I mean, they've been collecting on him for years, and like he's just stuck with this bill.
It's like a hand-me-down fine. All of his kids, everything going forward.
Generational.
Oh my god, that almost sounds like a great movie called like they're gonna do an Ocean's 11 movie of like I have to rob a bank in order to get Nintendo off my back. And it's called the Mario Heist.
He had to publicly apologize, and they paid. So I mean, I don't think they're going to get him for like that much money, but they're definitely going to get him for millions. It's going to be millions at least. But I mean, if there's going to be a little bit of a probably like we can't like 100 million. There's no way he's going to be able to pay that back, and like he's not going to be able to do anything. So they're probably going to get him for like $1 million or so, or a couple million.
Well, $1 million.
That's not much, right?
I got that in this box behind me. This is my $1 million box.
Yeah, man, it's not too much, It's not too much. So
I mean, we're gonna see how it sells when it comes out. That's the big question now, and that might be why Sony is not the big reason is sales. Do you guys think sales will be affected by this leak?
Yes. From what I've heard,
minor way, yes,
but not crazy though, because I think that there's a little bit like you have obviously the hardcore people online that are looking at stuff, but then I think that The Last of Us draws a lot of people that like aren't like hardcore looking to online stuff, and they'll just see it on TV, they'll see a commercial and just buy the game, and maybe they didn't even see anything that has to do with these leaks or anything like that. So I think it'll be a little bit of effect, but I think there's still gonna be millions upon millions of people who just say I didn't see anything, just buy it.
Yeah, I mean we can look to Pokemon Sword and Shield over the Pokedex controversy where you had everyone online saying I'm not buying this game. The game sold 10 million copies in less than 3 days, so that boycott didn't work. So even in this case, there can be some people who are upset about the narrative based on the leaks that they've seen, but I think the percentage of people who are no longer going to buy the game is a small percentage. The game is still going to be a financial and critical success for Sony and Naughty Dog. And I mean, if we want to see changes at Naughty Dog, that has to come it has to come from within. Druckmann has to feel the pressure from Sony of basically Sony saying, we're tired of Naughty Dog being in the press in a negative light. Crunch is done at your studio. If this comes out again that you guys are crunching, we're going to have to step in and intervene and change your management styles, because it's clearly a management
it comes down to management. Yeah, there definitely is. Because that kind of reminds me of Nate. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Kojima at Konami, where they were just like, look, we got to ship this game eventually, right? That's kind of how it feels like with Last of Us Part 2 a bit, because it sounds like they just kept like coming up with new ideas and wanting to do this and this and this, and it's like, this game took a long time to come out.
No, John, I think there's similarities because Naughty Dog essentially gets a blank check, you know?
Yeah.
And so did Kojima. Kojima essentially got a blank check. So it's like, oh, you want 24 dude instead of David Hayter? Okay. And then like, Konami's like, wait, what? They're like, wait, hold up. You're hiring him? Like, whoa, what's wrong with David Hayter? He's like $1 million cheaper,
Yeah. I don't know. It feels a little weird that it took this long for Last of Us, and then we get that post like you said that came up on Twitter that's like, they just weren't very efficient. It's not necessarily talent as much as it is Sony's like deep pockets and all this stuff, and they're probably looking at this game and they're like, this thing better be a 10 million unit seller.
And that's the thing is, I think that this will probably cost them only like I do think that this may cost them like 5% of sales, but in a game that sells 10 million copies, that's still 500,000 less units moved, and that definitely adds up.
It'll be interesting because this game, I think the gameplay is still going to be good, but this game definitely hinges on its story and its plot, and like the ending's out there already. But it'd be wild is if the leaks were wrong and that wasn't at all what turns out with the story.
Oh my god, the greatest troll ever.
Would that be wild or what?
Oh my god.
So that's the thing is, the leaks are basically the beginning of the game and the end of the game, and not the center chunk. So maybe we're missing some context. Obviously we've been lied to in movie trailers. Maybe this is just cut together in a way that looks different.
Yeah, what if it's like a build that they were like, that's not what we're going with. We're just gonna just put it out there to get that ultimate quick hype, that marketing push, and then we just freak everyone out when everything's different.
That happened with Mass Effect 3 apparently, which is Mass Effect 3 completely leaked the entire ending. People got mad about that, so they fired that writer, which was David Kashpirian, and then they rewrote the whole Mass Effect ending and made the super garbage one that people hate even more. So it's like, well, maybe you should have stuck with the original.
That man, bruh, I can't tell you how much pain I felt back then, because I'm a huge Mass Effect fan, and I'm just like, after I was up, I was like, I've wasted about a good 5 years of my life, but it's okay. It's okay.
Or maybe at the end of the game, they just wake up and it was all a dream. There you go.
Yeah. All right, time to go visit my grandkids because the apocalypse isn't real.
I'm still gonna grab Last of Us when it comes out to check it out and see how it all turns out. But I am definitely looking forward now to Ghost of Tsushima. I'm actually annoyed that it had to get pushed back a month just so Last of Us come out sooner.
Same.
Oh well. Do we have a Discord question, Evan?
Yeah, we have a couple. Maybe this one. Gotcha Force being an expensive GameCube game, he's wondering if anybody's really put a lot of time into it, because he's trying to figure out like how it feels, since if you don't want to buy that type of a game and then kind of hate it.
I played like an hour or two of it when I got it, and I haven't played it since. So yeah, I don't know. I want to be able to tell you more, but I haven't got a chance to go back to it. But it is there in the collection, doing its thing. But I will eventually actually go through it. I don't think it's that long of a game either. That's the funny part. I don't think it's like a super long game, but I will say this. I think it's a pretty average game. Like from what I remember and what I heard about before I went and got it, because I went through and I was like, all right, we're gonna get started with one really rare game. Which one are we gonna do? I remember looking up the reviews for it, and they were just average reviews. So it's what it is with GameCube. Some of the stuff is just stupidly expensive for no reason. Like College Hoops, that game is really expensive on the GameCube. We got another Discord question, Evan.
Because everybody's kind of complaining about the Nintendo Direct possible pushback, what 5 games might they not have played that would be interesting for them to maybe pick up and play instead of complaining?
What games now?
Switch?
Like
games that are out, like lesser known games, maybe things people probably don't know about on the Switch.
Oh, that's a good Nate. Nate plays some really weird indie games. He can help us out here.
Everyone should play Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Golf Story. Everyone go buy Golf Story.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let me look at my wall.
I like Golf
Just
Story.
like indie while you got Golf Story, Hollow Knight, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Celeste, Ori.
They keep putting Sega's actually being really cool during this pandemic, and they keep putting their games on deep sale pretty much back to back to back. If you have not picked up Sonic Mania is so cheap. It's so good. Like seriously. And there's like an expanded edition that they released like a year later that has like Tales and extra stuff. So get the expanded edition. I mean, Trials of Mana's out there if you haven't played that yet. I mean, that just came out. That's a good one to check out.
Splatoon 2 is on a free demo right now until the 9th.
Yeah.
So yeah, chat. If any of you guys haven't tried it, it's really, really fun.
And it's 30% off too.
It is 30% off. Yeah.
I've also been playing SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain quite a bit. It's the best one on the PS2. Probably one of the best wrestling games ever made. Sean's not here to argue with me. I did get Shut Your Mouth, the one before this one. I tried it. I don't like it as much as Here Comes the Pain. I think Here Comes the Pain's better, Nate.
I didn't play those.
Oh man, what? I thought you were a wrestling fan. I'm not even a big wrestling fan, and I like these games.
The last wrestling game I played, I think, was Warzone on the N64.
What?
Is that what that Warzone game is? Is that the Warzone game that's in the directory on Twitch? I can't find the freaking right directory to play Warzone Battle Royale, and there's just a random Warzone game. You told me that's from the 64?
Yeah.
Nate, did you not play? You didn't play No Mercy?
Nope.
You trolling, Click. You trolling.
Yeah.
That's serious, dude.
You didn't play No Mercy. You didn't play Day of Reckoning. You didn't play Day of Reckoning 2.
No. Last one I played was Warzone on the N64. I was stone cold.
You didn't play Raw 2 on the Xbox.
Nope.
You didn't play WWE it was WrestleMania 21, I think, on the Xbox as well. You didn't play any of these?
Nope. I haven't played a wrestling game in 22 years.
Wow. Do you still have your PS2?
Yes.
You should play this game. Here Comes the Pain. It's very good. It has online too. I don't know if it still works.
They should just make a good modern.
Oh wait, no, it doesn't have online.
Game.
No. SmackDown vs. Raw had online. This didn't. This was one before that. They should make a good wrestling game. Yes. Okay, Nate. How about this? If they did an AEW game, would you play that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There we go. See, we're making progress.
Got my boy Baron on there now.
There you go. I would actually buy it too. I would get it too, especially if they made it a bit more arcadey. I would like, because the wrestling games now they're so simulation based. It feels more like it's like you're playing like Madden or something for wrestling. I don't know. These were a bit more arcadey. We did have JubeTube, new member. Thanks for remembering up. Appreciate it. Got the emotes in there that Evan's been putting together. We got any other Discord questions, Evan? You want to hit us with?
I guess this is a quick one for anyone, I guess, playing GameCube, which would probably be you, John. GameCube Game of the Week.
GameCube Game of the Week. Wow, of the week.
Skies of Arcadia.
I didn't play the GameCube this week.
The GameCube Game of the Week. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
Oh God, let's not get into that again.
Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes is the GameCube Game of the Week. It is potentially a remake, potentially not, of the original Metal Gear Solid game on the PS1. So it might be, it might not be. We don't know, but it is a fantastic game.
I'm about to call Konami and be like, "Excuse me, Dr. Konam, is this a remake?"
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it is a remake.
I'm gonna say you don't know code. I'm gonna say you can't prove that, sir.
If you haven't gone to college, hacked into the database, decompiled it, and looked at the image.
I'm gonna say you don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Oh man.
It's such a weird hill to die on.
Right. Ibrahim says, I have a nephew who wants to get into PC gaming. Do you think a gaming laptop would be a good start point for him to get the PC gaming experience? Also, can the high-end gaming laptops come close to a powerful gaming PC? They can now, actually.
Well, they can and they can't, but they're a lot more expensive, and the heat problems are still there, so they have to limit.
Yeah.
No, I mean it depends because they stopped doing the laptop versions of video cards and they started dropping the entire video card basically in there.
There's still heat it has to contend with. Like depending
on
form
they're gonna get
factor.
Hotter.
Yeah,
they'll get hotter.
So you have to just debate because they usually downclock a lot of things, and if you overclock it, you're risking overheat and shutdown. I had a friend who used to have to put his laptop in the freezer every time it blacked out because he overclocked and the heat couldn't take it. Like
if you get a laptop with a good RTX 2060 or 2070, you'll be okay. Those are good. And now they even have laptops that are coming out now that have like high refresh panels. Like I have that overclocked one that was super cheap and has a 144 hertz panel.
Yeah, but I feel like for the price of that though, you can just get like a decent setup, like an upgrade later.
The overclock laptop cost me $400.
Yeah, it's weird. They were the weird
that one
pricing.
I got on sale. But if you hunt around, you can find a good laptop, I would say, with like a 1660 for like $800. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like a Surface laptop is like $1,000. So, and that doesn't even play games really. So you can get like a decent, like I think the Legion, I think it's Lenovo that does them. The Legion, those aren't bad if you find those, or like the Asus Tough books they have, TUF. Those are okay, but I would say get at least a 1660 Ti and it'll do pretty good on like a 1080p display.
I mean, I would also say if you're looking for specs, you can find people right now because a lot of people are selling stuff because they need the cash.
Yep.
You can find used setups. Well, they're also, I would trust more Facebook Marketplace than anything right now specifically. But
we also have like new new video cards coming out from NVIDIA fairly soon. Or at least once they get announced, people just sell off their video cards. But there's also a chance that Ibrahim might need a laptop for portability for their nephew.
Oh, if they're moving around, then that makes sense. Yeah.
Or if it's just a kid, sometimes parents like, I want you to game in the living room. And,
Yeah. So it depends. I mean, if you're building a desktop, yes, but like laptops have come a long way. They used to be like, they can keep
much
up. Worse. Yeah, much worse than they are now.
My laptop's pretty. I play Final Fantasy 14 on my laptop sometimes, so I mean, it's definitely not going to be nearly as good, but it's like I'll take. I
mean, most laptops they do have like 4K displays and all this stuff, but like most of the times people can like get a laptop, sit it down, and it's like a 1080p display, and they're okay with it. Just because it's
I think mine is a 1080p display, and it's got a solid state hard drive, so it's like my game starts instantly. I don't care.
Yeah, most people. I don't think most people buy a laptop necessarily for gaming because they want like this big 24-inch 4K monitor that closes on it or something. Nah, they're looking for a 17-inch maybe display with like 1080p or something. So, and then we have VCIPZ said, what's up, John, OJ, Evan, Max, Misclick, Nate, and Jordan? These Nintendo rumors around about the lack of a direct seem believable. Maybe no more games for Nintendo in 2020 that will be a big hitter like Animal Crossing New Horizons was. Okay, VC, check this out. Okay, because we're going to go into this Nintendo Direct stuff now, okay? These rumors.
I'm going to I have not eaten in like 6 hours. I'm going to go eat a nice big dinner. I love you guys a bunch, though.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Max.
I just want to thank everybody in chat. People have been spamming me happy birthday. Thank you. I'm not gonna, because of the quarantine, I can't spend time with my friends or family really, so this is gonna be kind of a lonely birthday. Honestly, the love in chat, it really helps out. So you guys,
wait, it's the day birthday?
No, it's May 7th, so it's coming up here next
oh Thursday. Dude, that's the day we get to see next gen stuff.
Yeah, so I'm actually happy that I'm gonna be able to I'm gonna watch it and then I'm gonna do a video. So getting to do a video on my birthday actually makes me happy.
You and my wife share the same birthday.
That's cool.
Your wife, I want you to know that every time you go to bed with me.
Okay, Max. See you later.
Okay, so let me say this real quick because I heard, okay, Nate, I heard somebody was out there on the internet saying that miracles were still going to happen in 2020.
Yeah.
What was this about, Nate?
Miraculous events.
Miraculous events are apparently still happening in 2020, according to a certain person out there on the internet that may or may not be Nate.
Yeah, some that were going to happen aren't happening in 2020, but some that were going to happen in 2020 will still happen.
Go on.
That's enough, Fringe.
I mean, so at that point, though,
I mean, if you know something, what do you know?
I mean, at that point, are you basically saying that it's delayed, or are you saying that they're not even going to do an announcement for it?
Others aren't.
There you go. All right. So other thing. Okay. So all right.
Mysterious.
So mysterious. So the word on the street now, right, is the report says that Nintendo is having a hard time with remote work right now, and a June Direct is most likely not going to happen. Most likely they'll be pushing it to late summer, I think is what we're hearing. So it could end up being end of July, maybe even August Direct is the next time we see one, which would be about 11 months then since the last General Direct in September.
The mini Direct counts, let's be honest.
I mean, it counts. I mean, not really for first party stuff. The third party stuff, yeah, but like the first party stuff, what did they? Clubhouse games, I guess, would be considered their.
Yeah, and that game looks amazing.
Stuff too, yeah.
Well, they didn't, like, people are talking about stuff that wasn't already known, right? Because like a lot of the they had Xenoblade, but that was already shown off at the previous big Direct. So yeah, in terms of
they want like a heavy hitter, like oh my god,
like a big new game that
like
was
a Paper
announced.
Mario,
like a Paper Mario or something like that.
Yeah. Or like the Mario collection that was
the things that are even harder to produce content for to make during a quarantine and work at home stuff. Got it. Okay.
Yes. So like, which the thing is that they could still announce the stuff on Twitter anyway. They don't necessarily need a direct. And they also said that any third parties apparently can just go ahead and just start announcing stuff. And then, hey, look, there's Deadly Premonition 2's release date.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a feeling that could have been in like some sort of presentation or something. But yeah, most likely, I guess Nintendo Direct on Twitter is the idea.
Do you? I mean, if Nate knows, like I'm asking more of the question, but something tells me that Nintendo like kind of likes presenting things in the form of a Direct. Like I feel like they will save things if that's the case, unless they're gonna like take us by shock and then just like kind of drop it, like hey, next week or something. I don't know.
No, I mean, fans just have this weird fixation that Nintendo has to survive on the Direct. And they don't.
Yeah, that's weird.
They can go to Twitter. They can announce things through press releases and have them on Twitter and YouTube. If the timing suits when they want to market their next project, then they will do it. But obviously, 2020 is in a state of transition due to the pandemic. Certain things have to be delayed. Certain things have to be reworked. Japan's work from home situation isn't as well versed as in Europe and America. When Nintendo does a Direct, it is coordinated with NCL, NOA, and NOE. So that's a lot of communication between the three branches of Nintendo. Now you also have to include third-party developers, indie developers. That's a lot to coordinate, and it's usually done months in advance. So that would have, an E3 Direct likely would have begun in late February, early March, the prime time of when the pandemic went out of control worldwide. Mm-hmm. So there really wasn't a lot of time for them logistically to coordinate Direct planning, especially for E3 timing. Now, none of this means Nintendo can't go to Twitter or announce things on their own. There can still be announcements, without a Direct taking place. But for some reason, people are taking this report to mean Nintendo is going to be silent for the next 4 months.
Yeah, I think they'll say some stuff. I think they'll put some stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I think that people don't understand. They think that like these Directs are made like YouTube videos. Like you get like something, you get a trailer, like you just cut it together and there it is, But there's a lot, like Nate said, there's a lot of logistics behind it in terms of syncing everything up, making sure that you get announcements ready to go, making sure everything is good. And like they said, the work from home situation is pretty bad. There's a pandemic going on, and it's not like. I think the issue that I have is like when people say they need to do something or there's going to be big problems, and it's like no, we look at the NPD, no, look at the Japanese sales. Yep. People can't afford 1 million games a month like a lot of some of these people do, spending all their money on games or whatever the case is. So they don't need to rush out and do anything. What they need to do, one, we need a vaccine. That's the first thing we need. And two, we need to make sure that all the employees are safe and there's good conditions for them to work and coordinate and get things done. That's what we need. That's the biggest thing that we need, because there is something going on. I guess that's the issue that I have sometimes when people sitting there making like they have to do this. It's like no, they have to make sure that everybody is safe and can work in a good environment and they can coordinate things, and that's going to take a bit more time. You can't mention one without the other. It's not like, oh well, I can mention this but not this. No. One of them is impacting the other, so you can't sit there and separate them. That's the issue that I have.
I think it's just people are looking for something to look forward to right now, because like everyone's just inside and they're like, what's coming out this holiday then? What's coming out on the Switch? What's coming out on the PlayStation? What's coming out on the Xbox?
I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
the thing. Nintendo can still communicate their plans. It's just not going to be in the form that people, I guess, have become accustomed to over the last several years. I mean, at no point did anyone say Nintendo was going to be silent from the month of April until, September. That was not reported. It's just they're not going to have the June Direct that you have, come to know. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Do you because I mean the last game that Nintendo has dated would be Deadly Premonition 2. That's in July. After that, there's nothing else dated. I feel like they would have something else announced, at least just saying, hey, this is coming holiday 2020 on Twitter or something before July, basically. I don't even know if they look at Deadly Premonition as guys, here comes Deadly Premonition. Everyone go check it out kind of thing. So maybe at some point in May, they'll announce something on Twitter. Twitter, trailer, press release.
Yeah, I think they'll have some announcements.
We also have to remember that in the upcoming week, Nintendo does have their investors briefing.
Yes,
they will likely give guidance for the second half of 2020. They will likely communicate their plans of not having a June Direct and say, hey, in lieu of this, we're going to detail some of our games up to, I'll say, August or September during their investors briefing when they have to give the guidance for the second half. They can do this. It's still communicating with people. You're not going to get the 40-minute presentation with all the trailers and stuff. And people say, well, teachers are, connecting with students with Zoom. The difference is there's no one in these offices to cut trailers, capture gameplay footage. In Japan, it's very difficult to move dev kits into a home office, set up the VPN networks for security. It's not as simple as Sean sitting down and filming the eShop and saying, there's games on sale. Wow,
not even here to defend himself.
Could be.
You gotta roast Sean for that, bro.
He ain't even here to defend himself.
Sean got here, got swept up in the roast here. Hold
up. It could be though. They could send Sean the whole press release and be like, read it on stream. There we go. I think there'll be something to look forward to there. But at this point, it's what's coming out this holiday? Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yes, Assassin's Creed's coming out, but we don't
really
know
consider
much.
Cyberpunk holiday. It's September.
I mean, that's how desperate we are right now. That's how desperate we are. We're like,
there aren't.
Cyberpunk.
There aren't a ton of games announced, and that's the thing. I think Phil Spencer, he talked about it too. He said that software is going to be greatly impacted. Which
that's the challenge.
Yeah, that's the challenge. And I think we heard it with Assassin's 14 studios on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yep, many of them working from home. Dude, a miracle how they're getting this game done. If they get it done this holiday, that's crazy.
Let's move into this Xbox Series X event that is next. That's Thursday, the 7th. Yeah, Thursday noon, I believe. We're gonna have a full Xbox Series X event, and it looks like it's going to be third parties. Which is odd because that threw me off a little bit. At first, they were like, "Oh, come see the Xbox Series X playing a bunch of games, apparently gameplay," and then they're like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be from our partner studios, so our third parties, I guess, is what they're referring to." And then we found out that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be shown there, so we will get gameplay for that game there, and that'll be. I'm actually, you know what, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I'm a little more excited than I thought I would be for that, mostly because it looks different. How do you do Assassin's Creed in Vikings?
Dude, I feel like I've been talking about this Viking setting for 3 or 4 years at this point.
I've never heard you say that ever
Hellblade.
Before.
Nope. Don't even bring that. Don't, John. Oh my God. I've been waiting for this setting for so long. They've been working on this game for a long time. It's not like these 14 studios have been putting it together in the last 4 months when everything is going down. All right. The game is on the back end of being made. And I'm very excited for this Assassin's Creed game. If it's anything along the lines of how Odyssey dealt with everything, not necessarily, hey, buy this to make your experience points, get faster so you can level up. If it's anything like the gameplay, of course they are. But if I'm talking about gameplay-wise, exploration-wise, lore-wise, and the amount of legitimately interesting and fun gameplay that they added into Odyssey, I'm going to be very excited and really be playing this game a heck of a lot when it comes out.
Odyssey was these past couple of Assassin's Creeds were good at first, but man, they just start to wear on you after a while. I don't know, they get kind of drawn. I don't know,
not the new ones. I don't feel like the new ones have done that.
You were all right. You liked Odyssey though. You liked Odyssey.
I thought Odyssey was like the biggest breath of fresh air because with Origins, they really got the new formula and idea down, and Origins is my favorite like time setting they've done. But Odyssey was like perfecting what Origins
Odyssey was
started.
better than Origins. Yes, I will say. Yeah, it was definitely was. But like I don't know, I just started to get kind of worn down. I'm like, okay, we can do this now. It just, I don't know. It felt longer than it should. I don't know. It was weird. It grinded, I guess. It was a lot of grinding.
There definitely was a lot of grinding to get to certain.
I started to get kind of tired of it. I'm like,
if you chose to rough it out and not purchase, the EXP or whatever, then you're gonna have at least an extra 4 to 6 hours of grinding. Where if you purchase it, you wouldn't need that, which is not a great.
Just
not
charge
a great
$70
model,
for the game.
But,
okay.
Yeah, just charge you $70.
What are you doing? But I like the idea of something like this is going to be strange, right? Because my mind, I'm like, let's just go to feudal Japan. But that might be too easy for them right now. It might be like, that's easy. That's expected. Vikings, it's like, all right, that's.
I think there's a marriage of both because you have like Sekiro was big. You have Tsushima coming out, on one end, like the feudal kind of feel, and then you have Hellblade, God of War, even For Honor a little bit, kind of that timeline. Like I feel like it's a marriage of the two. Someone pointed that out on Twitter earlier, and I'm like, that's actually kind of cool when you think of it that way.
Just think that after this Assassin's Creed, they'll finally be doing the one that everyone's been waiting for them to do.
You know what I'm excited about is the idea of it's going to be on the Series X, right? So we're going to see an open world game with the better CPU and the SSD in play. So will it be, and here's the question, will this be, because it's going to be on the older systems, it's going to be on Nate's VCR, all right? Do we think we'll see the Xbox One, the VCR?
Don't call out the VCR. It's great.
It's going to be on the VCR.
But it is the VCR.
Show it respect.
I can't show that thing respect. I'm sorry.
It's about to run a next-gen game. Respect.
Barely.
It's about to kind of see it from a distance.
Hey.
It's when we see this game, do you guys think you'll be like, wow, okay, that looks like a next generation game?
No.
Are you anticipating that? Or you think it's going to be like,
we've been at this crossroad before from the PS3 going to the PS4. We've seen these cross-gen releases before, and like, yes, it's going to be upgraded in some ways, but it's not going to be that full leap. It's going to be that weird caught in between. It's going to take advantage of the hardware in some way, but it's not going to be, oh my God, moment. It's going to be like, that looks good. But I want to see the next iteration where it's not held back by my poor VCR.
I think
your VCR is dragging us down, man.
It can be similar to Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. It was in the same situation a number of years ago, and the comparisons come out, and you can tell that the PS4 and the Xbox One versions were definitely better, but a lot of diminishing returns, cross-gen, that type of thing, obviously. It's definitely not going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the craziest thing ever, because they have to get it out on all platforms. Heck, EA even said that, like, Battlefield's not launching this year. Like, we don't want the install base is too low. The install base is too low. So so they have to get it out on everything, and they have to make sure that it looks good across all the platforms. But there is smart delivery though for fans, so that's pretty cool. So you'll get it on the Xbox One.
So if you buy it, you're right. If you buy it once, you get it on all the Xbox family of systems. That's actually pretty cool. So that works because if it comes out, let's say in October or something, it won't matter if you buy it then, And the big question, I guess, is as long as your save data, I guess, transfers too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if all that works, then it's like I'll just buy it in October and start it here on the
Xbox does a great job with like anything with that's like the online stuff. They always do a fantastic job with that. They have their Game Pass, and now they've got the smart delivery thing that's rolling. I think that's going to be.
What's really funny? What's really funny is if I'm playing a game over here on my One X and something happens in the game and I get an achievement, it actually pops up on my PC right over here on the monitor before it pops up on there because I have my account signed into my PC. So the achievement will pop on your PC before it does on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. And it happens all the time when I'm over here playing. It's just out of the corner of my eye, a little blue square pops up right there. It's like you unlock this in Streets of Rage or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty. They got their network down. They got their network down whenever people are streaming and stuff. It's pretty cool to see like people like the pops up and stuff like that.
Okay, so big event. I don't know how long it's going to be. I assume it's going to be. They say inside Xbox. I assume it's going to be pre-recorded. I don't think this thing's going to be live.
I would assume so.
Do they do those pre-recorded? Those inside Xboxes? Those are some of them are live though. I know some of them like the big ones are like live.
Some are live.
Yeah,
but this is probably pre-recorded.
I assume so. And I'm curious how long it's going to be. Like half an hour? Is going to be 40 minutes? Is it going to be an hour? That's going to be the question. But technically, you're going to see PS5 and Xbox games here because it's like third party. So it's going to be stuff that's going to be on both. Like Assassin's Creed is going to be on both. But what do you guys think is going to actually be at this event? Any third party games that you guys were thinking off the top of your head?
Call of Duty.
Well, I thought about Call of Duty, but I know Call of Duty always seems to go with Sony for like its marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Especially recently. Yeah. So that was the initial thing. I was like, oh, Activision's going to show up and show some Call of Duty. I'm like,
not Call of Duty then.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is it's not the 360 anymore. I always think about that still. I still tie Call of Duty to the Xbox still from back then.
I think it's going to be a heavy emphasis on Assassin's Creed because they have a partnership deal with Microsoft.
They do.
For that game.
Yeah, so, I think we might see Cyberpunk make a small appearance.
That's a good one too.
They have a partnership deal with. They have a partnership deal with Cyberpunk too, right?
Yep.
Microsoft does, yeah.
Yep. Both
anyone who has a partnership with them is going to be there.
Yeah.
But what about is that what was like Elden Ring or Elden
Ring?
Yep.
No.
Yeah. Is that supposed to be there?
I think it will be because that was shown for the first time at Microsoft's E3 event last year, and then it just kind of disappeared.
Isn't that also supposed to be like Norse or no? Do we know what setting it is?
It might be that like amalgamation kind of thing they do with histories.
Okay.
I also, OJ, it might be worth really checking out because I think there's a possibility that Tales of Arise could be there too.
You know what? And I wanted to talk. I actually talked about that game, but freaking Bandai Namco and their stupid copyrights. You can't use any footage of that game because they only have one trailer. So but Tales of Arise, I'm looking forward to maybe seeing that. That's kind of having a little bit of a transformation, from what they've done before. So definitely looking out for that. And I think even NBA 2K. Something like that. That's probably going to be there.
Games
they'll show a sports game.
Yeah,
for sure.
like sports games, either Madden or NBA 2K or NHL or something like that's definitely going to be there.
They're going to do that thing where they're like, look at the sweat on the player's face right here at this angle or something.
They have a long history of Microsoft showing off like the first footage of the next gen. Like they've done this all the way back on the 360. Remember, like Reggie Bush would come out and talk to or those like other.
I just remember them zooming in on the basketball player's face, and they're like, look at the sweat dripping off of his head, and it's like, okay, all right.
What about NBA 2K is going to be there? NBA 2K is probably going to be there.
I haven't heard anything about Dragon Age 4 in a long time.
You know what we haven't heard anything about, Jordan? We haven't heard anything about Skate 4. Okay.
That's not going to be there. That's not going to be there.
All right, fine.
Wish it was.
Maybe Tony Hawk will be there.
They can stay home.
No. I'm excited about the event mostly because I want to see if they actually try to show off different parts of the system, or do they just go straight up like boom, boom, boom. Okay, here's a bunch of games and then that's it. Or do they go, okay, here's how the ray tracing works in Assassin's Creed, and they like show it off there, right? Or they go, here's how the SSD works to improve your experience in Elden Ring or something. So that's what I'm curious about.
I also think they're gonna talk about that because if all of the coronavirus type of stuff is happening, obviously impacting software sales, they're gonna have to heavily lean on people probably picking up games that they haven't played yet, right? And them getting enhanced for this series. So I think they might talk about like how you can play your previous games, like how that's going to be a big factor into the Series X, because there's probably going to be some software issues, and a lot of people haven't played it. There's so many games on the Xbox One, right? Like a lot of third-party games that people haven't played. So definitely letting people know, like, hey, like you can play these, and maybe they show off the differences between like the speed, in terms of like the loading and all that. So maybe they kind of have give like a little bit of a look at what you can expect.
I wonder if the dashboard's going to look different too.
So far, what they've shown, it's just the same as the Xbox One, but that was just on their YouTube channel. So maybe they kind of show off that. Because I think people really like looking at that type of stuff, right? What's the dashboard going to look like? Like, how's it going to load? How fast is it going to load games? Like, people were like knowing those type of things. So
I guess this one's kind of like first party and third party technically. But what about like Minecraft Dungeons? Because like Microsoft owns Mojang, but that game's coming to all the other consoles. That's not just on the Xbox, and I think they'd probably want to show that off.
That's out.
Some more.
That's out soon, isn't it? It's not end of this month now, right? End of May, middle.
Is it
May?
that close?
It's soon. It's within a month.
Maybe they could use it to show like a digital upgrade pack.
You know, some of the previews I've seen for that game actually look better than I thought it would be.
No, I watched the whole Let's Play of it. It actually seems pretty good.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I didn't think I'd be that interested. It looks kind of like a little dungeon crawler Gauntlet Legends game. Maybe
Yeah, it's
check
like
that
a
out.
Diablo type of, dungeon crawler type of game.
Okay, let's get crazy for a second. Okay, I think they're gonna close out with Starfield.
That'd be nice.
Relax.
Yeah, let's get Bethesda in there.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd be down for that, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Get Bethesda in there, man. That's next generation, right?
If I'm Microsoft and I'm gonna have Bethesda appear in my show, I'm holding you for a month or whenever my next event is, when my real Xbox Series X blowout is. I'm not wasting it on the appetizer course to the Series X games.
But they said that their first party stuff will be in the next one.
There'll be third party stuff too. They're not. I mean, Microsoft has already said we probably won't have games at launch, so they're not going to come out with dozens of games. So they have to sit back and they're going to hold on to the bigger third party pieces for their next event. This is just going to be, here's a nice little appetizer. This is a glimpse, but
they just got to get ready with Halo Infinite. That's all I care about. We're good then. That's all. Everyone keeps saying Halo Infinite's not coming out this year.
It's not.
All right.
But they said that it's coming out this year. They said holiday. Microsoft said it.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying holiday right now.
It's probably not coming out.
But how do you know?
Because he keeps talking about software, and I keep thinking the only real software that they have announced for this holiday is Halo Infinite, and he keeps talking about it.
They showed Master Chief's helmet.
Yeah, I know.
They'll announce the pre-order this holiday. It'll be good.
Yeah. So I'm excited for. What's that?
they could just release the multiplayer portion of the game.
Of Halo?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Then he technically didn't lie.
I'm down.
Wait, Nate, hold on, Nate. What do you know? What's going on here?
I am not
Hold on,
implying anything.
hold on.
I don't want to get into the
now we're talking
generation of
about
games
Halo,
where
okay.
it's like,
Now-
okay, we're
look
not
what
done
you-
with the game, but here's part of it.
Look what you did, Nate.
Yeah,
John's not going to
that-
be able to sleep tonight.
That's a bad. That's a bad.
That's a slippery slope. I agree
Yeah.
with Jordan. Like where you're talking about, let's just release parts of a game, you know. But then they obviously charge. Do they charge you full price? And then you
Oh,
get
they would
the-
double charge you.
This one will be
100% double
episodic,
charge
a
you.
Halo episodic game.
Yeah, episodic.
It's going
episodic
to-
Halo.
So Final Fantasy VII,
It's going to Game Pass though. What do I care?
they'll chop it up and be
That's
like, "Here's
true.
Halo
What
Infinite."
do I care? It's going to Game
7
Pass. Just
That's
drop
true. It's going to, and I can't wait for the the Pop Tarts so I can get it on Game Pass too. You know, like I'm just waiting for those Pop Tarts, man, because they're coming. They're gonna do something.
yeah.
Or it's gonna be like Rice
Hey,
Krispies treats
they
or
got-
something.
They apparently have 10 million people on that Game Pass service.
And
so.
I bought 10 million Pop Tarts.
It'd probably be cheaper if you just bought Game Pass than all the Pop Tarts.
No, it's actually not, because my CVS has Pop. I got like
How much is a box of Pop?
Dude,
I got 4 boxes for $3.
Do you just
they
get
were
the
putting
code off
Game
it
Pass
and
is
leave it
usually
outside for
$1.
people or something? Like, sounds like a
Huh?
lot of Pop Tarts.
I don't know. I don't eat the Pop Tarts.
That's what I'm saying. You just put them outside for the neighborhood kids to grab and just walk off.
Absolutely. That's what I did with all my Butterfingers that I got from.
They're putting these things on like Snicker. They're
Hey,
putting
kid,
Game
want a
Pass.
Pop-Tart?
They're
Pretty
putting Game
much.
Pass on like they're putting it on what cookies and Snickers bar. They're putting on everything.
Yeah,
Game Pass.
they call me the black candy dude. Like when I go outside, I'm like, y'all want some candy? Like they're like, sure. The kids and the teenagers that ride by on their bicycles, I handed away so many Butterfingers. Like when Final Fantasy VII came out.
Oh man. Let's go back to the super chats here. Evan, we got Discord questions left.
Yeah, we have a couple. Something must have come out because we had an ESRB question last week from someone else. Do you think the ESRB is corrupt in some way?
What?
Oh wow, that's a serious question.
Yeah.
The
I think-
ESRB?
Yeah,
I mean,
last week we had the should we expand on the ESRB ratings, and then we have this one, but it's a whole other person. Like,
Well, they be corrupt. They rate the games based on the content.
Well, that's the
This
thing.
sounds like someone who works at ESRB. Like, aren't we bad?
No, I mean,
come on, make it probably
Radar
the bad.
driving.
Terrible.
I think you can make
Radar
the case for the whole thing with the gambling in games and how they're not really doing a lot for that.
But that's because there's no regulation for them
Right,
to
and
get
that falls to
guidance
the-
on.
to
How's
be the
that
ESA.
corruption by them? How are they benefiting?
Because the ESA should be doing that with the ESRB.
But the ESRB
Too many
isn't
acronyms
part of
going
the
on right
ESA.
now.
No, but they were formed like
They were
keep
formed
government
because
out of
of
it, right?
because of what's his name in Connecticut, the senator. What the hell is his name?
Mhm.
Ran for like president a bunch of times, and he got pissed off that Mortal Kombat didn't have a rating, and kids were like coming here and uppercutting each other.
There's what?
What the hell is that guy's name? The senator from Connecticut.
It's that's what I think. That's what it falls down to, though, is the whole thing with the ESRB gambling in games.
That's
and all
it.
that.
Joe Lieberman.
It's not
Joe
Jack Thompson.
Lieberman. It's not Jack. I was say Jack Thompson is like the one that everyone goes to.
Yeah, Joe Lieberman got all pissed off at Mortal Kombat, and that's why the ESRB was created.
Dude, what are we talking
It's
about?
the worst
The
origin
ESRB being
story.
corrupt.
Oh.
Yeah, but the ESA does oversee the ESRB, and the ESA will go out and like publicly try to argue against like the whole gambling in games thing. Like that, then it's fine. So that I think that's what it's coming down to. Although the ESA is about to have some other problems on their hands with the Summer Fest by
Keighley
Jeff
stuff.
Keighley.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
All that is a
gotta-
website.
I got to give him some credit. Did you guys see the Summerfest?
I did see the Summerfest. Looks
Looks
pretty
dope.
cool.
It looks good. It looks really good. I'm looking
four
at that.
months of announcements and just stuff that's going to happen spread out. Like,
Summer Game Fest is going to take place from May to August, and it's not only going to have game reveals throughout that time period, but they're also going to have, according to him, game demos and interactive events. That sounds kind of like what he was pushing E3 to slowly become when he was talking with the ESA. And remember, he wasn't even going to go this year. I wonder if he was still going to have this alongside of the like E3, and E3 would have been a part of this. Like, I don't know. This is it's hard for me to believe that he just planned this in like 2 months or something. Summer Game Fest. Now, do you guys prefer a 4-month all digital event where games are announced throughout the course of those 4 months rather than all at once in a week on E3?
I think it's more exciting for a week because it's like something to like look forward to. You know what to kind of expect, but I think this is kind of like the best like solution, like flexibility for people at this time. You know, so I think it's cool that, you know, like I think maybe a week is hard to make for certain people versus like giving them a couple months, you know, like maybe they can pencil in, you know, schedule around things a little bit easier based on how the development time's been.
E3
I mean,
who?
it's definitely, I think it's better for publishers and developers if they have it at least planned out pretty well, because then you don't have these companies announcing games on top of other games in the same day. Like 1 hour you get something big announced, the next hour something else big gets announced, and it kind of just all gets lost in that like 4-day time period for E3. If they can figure it out for 4 months of like every week there's some new relatively good announcement. And what do you think, Nate?
It doesn't solve the problems for industry members of the lack of E3, and all this really is a 4-month RSS feed where if I'm Namco and saying, hey, I'm going to have a announcement today on Twitch, it's just going to be up on this website and you can find out that it's at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Like, it's not actually doing anything on itself. He's just giving them a signpost of when they're going to make announcements over this 4-course period. And that's why they've been asking him, like, oh, is Nintendo going to partake? And he's like, well, if they want to, because it's just going to be, oh, do you guys have a direct coming up? Yes, it's on this day. Oh, we're going to put it on our website. It's really
he showed phase 1 and it had like all the companies, including Sony, which was weird. Sony's actually participating in it. They haven't participated in much of anything. But
all that could be is that when they have their event that's expected either the end of May or early June, that it's just going to be linked on that site. They're
Like
not
why wouldn't they?
involved with it.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's free promotion for them.
yeah, I do wonder if like next year when like more live events and stuff start happening, if he kind of turns it into more of a live show as well. Like where, remember you used to have like the couch and stuff at like where you had like kind of like a little talk show thing set up there. What was it called for E3? What was that, like the E3 Coliseum or something like that?
I don't remember.
If he has something like that set up where like you kick off Summer Game Fest like with some kind of live event, then you close it out with a live event, like that would probably be a bit more impactful. But I mean, I like the idea of him at least trying to do something with E3 like not existing this year. At least we have I guess, something going on. And it probably helps some of them for organizing, because otherwise they'll just be like, all right, we're just gonna go announce it. But I guess if they know that they're not all announcing something on the same day, it might help a bit. But I'll be curious to see how he pulls it all together. And that starts, I guess it starts now, because it's starting, like, it just says May. So I guess this week. So, I mean, he did mention that the Microsoft event is part of it, I guess, but that's just because it's already happening.
But see, that's the thing. Like, oh, it says Microsoft is partaking. It's just a signpost of, hey, this is what people are telling us are taking place, so you can have an idea of what days this is happening, so you can plan if you want to view it. The fest itself it's nothing.
But he did say that there'll be like those interactive demos and stuff, and apparently Microsoft's going to participate in that. So I don't know if they're going to leverage
We're going to get Xbox One demos. I mean, it's not like we're getting Series X and PS5 demos. We're still just going to get PS4 or Xbox One demos, which Microsoft and Sony can do on their own without Jeff Keighley.
That's, I mean, they could, yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it plays out if it just does turn into what you're saying, Nate, where it's just like a site that just posts them as they get announced anyway. We'll see. Evan, we have a Discord question over there.
Yeah, we got one left. It's specifically, if there's ever an N64 Mini, what do you think they'll do to handle the sort of odd thing that occurs in the graphics when it gets upscaled, the polygons to 1080, but the textures still remain low res? Think they'll have a way of fixing that?
Maybe. I
was hoping MVG would be here after I read that. I was like, oh, that'd be cool.
there was yeah, he'd probably be able to help with that. But there was something that happened last night. That's let's just say the community is gonna have an easier time figuring it out now. It's breaking now, but we'll see what comes out of it. There was a pretty sizable, we'll say, illegal leak that's taking place online right now.
Go on.
Like right now?
Yeah, it's like literally breaking and happening now. It started last night or yesterday, and I'm trying to just coordinate and make sure that it's not like.
Have you retweeted this?
Actionable is what I'll say with some of this, because I know how Nintendo can be. But they're the ones who are probably like scrambling now. It's really weird because it has to do with IQ. It's like, who would have thought that would have come back to bite them? IQ. A bunch of stuff leaked out from like past systems that is literally the entire source code for how the system works.
Oh, jeez.
64, GameCube, Wii. This is all on Twitter now, so I'm just reading it. It's already on Twitter. So, yeah. So the problem is, if you use that code, it's illegal. It's copywritten code, so you can't use it. But it details how the systems work and everything. So you're probably gonna see maybe some FPGA chips magically start appearing all of a sudden online for sellers. I don't know how all that's gonna work, but I think that code was stolen. So
sucks.
Crazy.
Yep. So Nintendo's moving on that, I assume. Yeah, so you never know. Maybe all of a sudden the 64 just magically gets figured out. There you go.
Well, yeah, but like, do you think they'll just up-res textures and then just hope the polygons kind of fit it, or do you think they'll mess with stuff?
I think that's tough. Because if you mess with it too much, the people who are like, the purists that would buy that for collectors purposes and everything will get annoyed. But if you don't, the people who did not play the 64 back in the day will plug it in and just be like, what is this? So maybe they'll have like an option where it's like you can have the original, or you can have one with filters,
like
and
a scan line filter you can put over it that like makes everything jaggy again.
That's kind of what I hope with. If they're going to do it, just have a bunch of options, filters and everything, and go that route. Because emulators, at least online now, have at least made it look a bit smoother all the way around. So like maybe it depends on what kind of hardware they put in there too. I think if they want to, they will though. Yeah, I think they'll figure that out. Let's see, over here on Streamlabs, Game Knobs says, I expect to see the new Batman game and or Harry Potter game at the Series X event. You remember the Harry Potter event, the game? Remember that? We got that leak that was like the next gen Harry Potter game.
Like 2 years ago or something?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was like a while.
Longer than that, yeah.
It feels like it was forever ago, but Nate, what happened to that game? Where'd it go?
It's still coming.
Okay. There's another one. SMK says, I'm hoping for news on the Harry Potter RPG, but not holding my breath. All right, there you go. See, people are interested in the Harry Potter next gen Harry Potter game. All right, interesting. I didn't know it was. Is Harry Potter still really really big like that?
Yeah.
Following. Yeah.
Is it SpongeBob big, Jordan? Because all I ever see right now on Twitter are people talking about SpongeBob.
It's Harry Potter would be bigger than SpongeBob. It's a bigger IP.
I'm just checking. Let's go over to some of the super chats here. Then we can go through. There are a few of them. We'll finish up with the different super chats here. Okay, here we go. Aiden Quinn, which Pokemon game is the best in your opinion? This is tough, isn't it?
Diamond and Pearl or Heart Gold Soul Silver for me.
Okay. What do you got, Jordan?
I mean, he didn't say just mainstream Pokemon games.
Go.
Oh boy.
Snap.
Which are my least favorite Pokemon type of games.
Okay. Here it comes. Say Mystery Dungeon. Go ahead. Say it.
Pokken battle, right? It's Pokken. It's Pokken tournament.
I like. If we're including that, Pokken's definitely one of my favorite Pokemon games.
Yeah,
like
Pokemon's it's a good. There's good games.
Yeah, I'm going with Pokemon Fire Red.
Aubrey specific.
That's fantastic. That's a fantastic. Is it remake?
I like Fire Red.
It's a remake.
Whoa. Let's not get crazy here, okay?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a remake or not, dude. I can't tell.
I think it was a remake.
It is a remake.
I looked at the code, yeah.
I peeked in.
Steal the code.
I peeled the code back.
What did Nintendo call it? Did they call it a remaster or a remake?
They're all remakes.
Whatever they say. What do they say?
They don't say. They never call their games remakes or remasters or anything. Or at least old. Like sometimes like Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, like HD. But like even like Tokyo Mirage Sessions or like Xenoblade or whatever. They just or even like Legend. Yeah, or even like what was it called?
They're known in the community,
Awakening?
in the Pokemon community, as remakes, regardless. You know, they are specifically mentioned as remakes. And when everyone asks for the Diamond and Pearl games to be done again, do they say, "Man, I really want the HD res up ports of Diamond and Pearl"? No, they say, "I want the Diamond and Pearl remakes."
That's true. They do say that.
Hey, Fringe. All I know is a few days ago, I saw an argument online that told me that Resident Evil 1 remake isn't a remake, despite it being called a remake.
Some people just don't understand basic terminology, but that's
just C++. Yeah, they can't get into it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when a game is called a remake, people tell me it's not a remake. I don't know what the hell it is.
It's what it is, you know? Remember when Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes wasn't a remake either? I like that one too.
That is a good remake.
It looks kind of similar to the original, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they just HD resed it up, you know, just ported it. Totally not a complete remake of a PlayStation 1 game.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Couldn't be. You know, you put remake like RE2 remake when they announced they were remaking Resident Evil 2.
No, that's a remake.
But when they announced it was a remake, but it's not a remake.
No, that was a remake, right?
What about Resident Evil 3? Was that a remake?
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore at this point. What's a remake?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a remake.
I mean,
maybe it's a reimagining. What about that word?
They had to actually change quite a bit of Metal Gear Solid to make Twin Snakes. Like gameplay itself had to change.
Oh, so they remade how the game is.
Yeah, they added actually a lot of stuff from Metal Gear Solid too.
Then that solves the answer right there.
They added like hanging from ledges. They added first person mode.
First person, that was a big deal for Metal Gear at the time.
On the back of the box,
parts of the game had to change.
Well, on the back of the box, it said it was reinvented. So
okay, so that's like okay, yeah, because
reinvented.
Some of those cutscenes were definitely reimagined. He's jumping off rockets in that thing. Okay, so that's like
I beg to differ. I think it was somewhat close.
I mean, if you base it just on the screenshots, it's clearly not a remake. I believe was the case being argued originally.
Well, I mean, you don't know what the hell you're.
You know, there's never been a remake up until recently, apparently.
What's the next question?
I hope it's about remakes.
Let's talk more about this remake debacle.
Is this question a remake of the question before?
Can we remake the question?
Neo Flores says, Spawnwave, lovely bro, thank you so much for getting me through work during the week. Finally started Fire Emblem, and it really is so good. Didn't think I was going to like it. Well, if you got into the strategy RPG there with Fire Emblem, there's a whole bunch of other strategy RPGs you can look for. So I hope they eventually do something with Final Fantasy Tactics on the Switch. That'd be nice.
Really nice.
Yeah, that's a good one to go check out.
Or even like Ogre Battle, Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre Battle, some of the old school ones. That'd be great.
Yeah, those are the ones to check out if you like Fire Emblem. Just kind of expand the library a bit. I think they have that on the Vita and the PSP because they rewrote some of the text and dialogue and stuff for the PSP version.
Mobiles too, smartphones. Which I unfortunately downloaded and deleted as fast as possible.
Let's see. Matt M says, when do you think Mario 3D World or the Mario Triple Pack will come out this year? Keep up the good work, guys and gal.
Yes.
Let's see. 3D World. September maybe. I'm trying to think of when the Mario remasters would come out. If they would wait till November for that, or if that would just drop in like October or something.
Would that be their holiday?
I mean, that could be a good holiday game for them, even though it's a bunch of games that have already come out. But like, I just think
would they be remakes or remasters?
Oh dear God.
My God.
Those I think would be remasters.
Those would be. Have you guys seen Mario Galaxy 2 like with HD texture?
Yes, it looks ridiculous.
It looks absolutely amazing, you know? So I think that would be big. I mean, Mario Galaxy 2 came out at the very end of the Wii's lifespan and near the end of the Wii's lifespan. 2010.
2 years before.
Yeah, about the system was pretty much done after that. But I mean, I would think it would be amazing. There's so many kids that have not played it, that have not played the Galaxy games yet. So
they would sell like crazy.
It would sell, especially if it was like a whole, like 3 of them for like $60. That would be nuts.
That would be ridiculous. If it was,
that would be really good.
Sunshine, Galaxy, $60.
Yeah, 64 Sunshine Galaxy. If that was 60, that would be really good. That would be really good. People would rush out and buy that. Mario Odyssey did extremely well, obviously, but that's a new game. But this is like, you have 3 of the best Mario games of all time, you know, all packed in there and those games, like I said, already look good, you know, for their respective systems. You make them look, you get them in HD. I mean, you get them on, you can play anywhere that you want. That'd be the first time that you'd be able to play those games anywhere, you know, too, because those were all, well, Mario 64, no, that was on the DS.
Yeah, Sean would be yelling right now.
Mario 64 was on the DS, but Galaxy, you haven't been able to, like, they didn't put that on the 3. They even said that they couldn't put it on the 3DS. You know, that they tried and it couldn't run, apparently, on the 3DS, so that'd be dope.
Troy says, who do you think will be the Naughty Dog of Xbox by the end of this generation? Ninja Theory or the Initiative or someone else? Oh wait, hold on. The Naughty Dog, like good, like
good or bad? Yeah,
I think we like
high quality.
I think the company that's put on like the highest pedestal by the company.
the big one, the one that like the company's like, this is
our flagship. People, when they drop something, it's an event. Like those type
man, I want to say the Initiative, but like we haven't seen anything from them.
I'm going with the Initiative. They have so much talent at that studio. They
are stacked.
They're stacked from Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog.
Yeah, but that can go either way because once you get enough big egos into a room, it can destroy everything.
I almost want to go a different direction, and I actually want to say, I kind of want to say Playground.
You know what? I think Playground, but dude, Ninja Theory. Look,
I've been playing Bleeding Edge.
Well, that's good. You know, they have their other game that they have.
Sounds great. I'll download it now.
You know, Hellblade 2. Like Hellblade, the first one was really good, right? Everyone really liked that game. Hellblade 2, I mean, they have like a cinematic approach. They got good gameplay. Like they got like really good story. And now they have the complete funding. Remember, that was like a partial AAA game, whatever the hell they called it. Now they have complete funding to make a big Hellblade game, like fully featured. I think this could be their start.
Yeah, but like every game that Playground's done with that. I mean, I know it's been Forza, but like Horizon has been good every time, and I think if they pull off the rumored Fable, right? That's the rumor. If they pull off Fable, I mean, I got to give it to Playground then. Even if the Initiative comes out with something crazy and it's like really good, they still wouldn't have produced like as many like top tier games as Playground then. So
it's tough. It's kind of sad that nobody went to 343.
No, it's not that. They've dug their own grave.
No, I agree with Jordan. They dug their own grave.
I want the best for them. I want to see Halo be as great as it once was.
I'm crossing my fingers for Halo Infinite, man. Come on.
I have hope for them, but after Halo 5, I don't know. I don't know.
This is from Mirror Shield. What's the first game you have memory of playing? First game, Breakout on the Atari 2600.
Yours was Breakout. Nice.
Yes,
I had
Breakout.
Missile
The
Command.
one the ball that goes back and forth and knocks out the bricks. Yeah,
I had that on my Game Boy. That was fun.
stupid paddle controller that you twist. Yep.
Pong or Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle. One of those two.
No, wow. Nice. Crazy.
Y'all ever
Castle.
played Bugs Bunny's Crazy
Yeah,
Castle?
oh man, I didn't like that game as much.
No, well, it was Bugs Bunny though.
Yeah, no, I get that. I had a Tasmanian Devil game where you'd spin around and like it was just 2D, but you just spin around and knock everything out.
I think the nerd did a video on this one too, but Bugs Bunny's Birthday Bash. I remember playing that game.
Oh yeah.
When I was really young, and be like, it's my birthday, so I think it's my birthday. I never knew, and it's Bugs Bunny, so yeah. That game sucked too.
Mitch says, "Oh, spoiler! Samus loses her armor and weapons early in Prime 4. At least Nintendo doesn't offend toxic dudes and makes Samus an angry Subaru driver." Okay.
That sounds oddly specific.
That is very specific. Mr. Miracle says, Nate, what, if anything, is Sony going to reveal on the 7th to rain on the Xbox parade?
If I were Sony, I would counter by announcing my plans for the PS5 reveal on May 7th.
But
even if it's in June or whatever, I would just announce it to take away some of the attention from Microsoft.
So petty.
But Microsoft's already helping you out and showing PS5 games.
I think what Sony should do is silhouette the console, silhouette something, and say, "Come here, June, whatever." For the reveal.
Well, usually with most consoles, they have the lights on them. They probably have the lights kind of like emanating from it. It'd be nice.
Yeah, they'll have one light on, but the whole thing is completely silhouetted out with something really cool. I don't know. They're gonna do something cool. Yeah, I think they're gonna do something cool. I have a feeling that June's gonna be a fun month for that.
Aaron says, waiting for the Final Fantasy Collection 1 through 5 and Final Fantasy 6 remake in Octopath Traveler style.
I wish.
I'd be all right with that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy 6, you could do a full remake of that thing if you really wanted to. You don't want them to touch that?
I don't like Octopath is emulating Final Fantasy 6. I don't want Final Fantasy 6 to emulate what it is what the style that something other game was emulating. Final Fantasy 6 should get its own thing.
Yeah.
Octopath was emulating that. To me, that's a bit disrespectful to Final Fantasy 6. It should get a real remake, like Trials of Mana got got a real remake.
What about a Redux?
No, it's a remake.
That's a thing.
I mean, look.
It's a reinterpretation, okay?
Look, listen. All right.
The reinterpretation.
It get his own remake, all right?
It's a re-roll of the dice. What happens?
It's a reinvention, all
right? Jason says, I'm finishing up Fire Emblem 3 Houses. What house did you guys go with?
Initially.
First run?
First
Golden Deer, baby.
I went with Blue Lions.
I went with Black Eagles, and then on my second run, I went with Blue Lions.
I think I'm with the Eagles.
I just watched
Of
people
course, y'all went with the route that has the girl.
I just thought that she'd be cool, but then I ended up playing them. Like, man, she's not cool at all.
She's not.
Like, she's horrible.
She's bad 3 out of the 4 options, dude.
I'm like, I should have went with Blue Lions. But she's literally horrible.
I'm going to say the true route is actually Golden Deer, though. So, just saying that. That's the happy ending.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
Wonder why you chose that one.
Gary says, now that we are almost halfway through this year, do you still think there will be an Xbox Series S?
Yes.
I do. I believe so as well. Yes.
It's a very confident answer.
That was actually pretty confident. You're right, Jordan.
Yes.
I think there will be.
It'll be released on this day.
Yes. Yes.
I think there will be an Xbox Series S as well. Schmacity says, at what exact point does a regular click become a misclick? Asking for a friend.
Oh my god.
Well,
I don't even know.
Lars says it must be an insider. That's for the Last of Us leak. Somebody, I guess, in the building. I don't know. Inside, on the inside. John J. Yeah, John J says, prediction: Animal Crossing wins Game of the Year. How many sold so far? 10 million, 91 on Metacritic, huge community, and forthcoming content. Thoughts?
If it's the only game that comes out this year.
That's a good point, Fringe.
It's that and Final Fantasy are the two, like, well, these came out.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Well, Cyberpunk seems pretty dead.
If Cyberpunk comes
Maybe.
out, I hope it does.
I mean, to be honest, though, like, Animal Crossing's kind of like, it doesn't meet the same criteria that Smash kind of didn't meet for me. I would definitely say Final Fantasy if Cyber doesn't come out. But if Cyber comes out and it's really good, like as good as we expect it to be, definitely. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I think
Valhalla.
If we get to the end of the year and we have like no games to like put on there and they drop like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on there, that's gonna annoy me. Ugh, gosh. That game, they need to put more time and effort in Dragon Ball Z.
Dude, the Switch version of Jump Force is definitely going to be.
Oh,
I mean, all I gotta say is that I was gonna say Jump Force. You know, who would have thought that that's a nominated?
Hey, look, man, it's one of the best fighting games of the year.
That's why it's coming to the Switch.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's true.
John J says, oh, wait, we just read that. Soplux says Phil Spencer was the leaker of Last of Us Part 2.
Hey, could be. Who knows?
Poor Phil.
Man. Carlos Sanchez says, do you think
Doom came out this year.
Do you think you're going to see Elden Ring? I beat that game too, and I forgot about it.
I didn't play it. I saw a comment. I was like, "Oh yeah, Doom came out."
Do you think we are going to see Elden Ring Thursday? I do. Yes, I do. I do think that's going to happen, Carlos. We should try to get Phil Spencer on the podcast. That's what we should do.
Yeah, I mean, what's he doing? He's at home, right?
Yeah, everyone. Tweet at Phil Spencer and be like, "Yo, get on the podcast."
Yeah, he could tell us all about it.
Come tell me how Halo Infinite's going.
Yeah.
He did gamer tag, so.
Cedric says, support your boy Player Essence, becoming an elite ninja.
Yo, shout outs, man. Thank you.
Jared says, I didn't get the PS4. Should I get the PS4 or 5? I mean, it's already May.
Just wait.
You might want to wait unless you get a really good deal on, like someone's like, I gotta sell this thing, and they're like $80. You go, all right, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, unless like you're okay with not having like the latest thing, like a PS4 is a good purchase if you can get it for really cheap. It's a good purchase because there's so many games to play at this point. The whole generation of games, 7 years or whatever. So.
The RBM says, I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you all. Cedric says Hop is the greatest Pokemon rival ever.
No.
Hop is the GOAT. I had to read that one, wait for Nate to like.
No. Hop is definitely not the best rival. Hop is the worst.
Joey says, I've been listening to the Spawncast at work, so I don't watch it live, but still want to give my thanks for making work more entertaining. Vanessa says, I have played through Gotcha Force completely 13 times. It is amazing. Any reason to own the GameCube? One of my favorites. I will get through Gotcha Force. I got to figure out how long it is first to see, but I will get through it. Juice Man Vaughn says, play Hyper Light Drifter. Mr. Job says, I love the Spawncast. Hope everyone is staying safe. Dark Void says, hello all, do you think that the next gen Switch will include a 5G antenna that is unlocked to all major carriers? Maybe 4G, you never know. They might do 4G. That might be old enough at that point for Nintendo to do it.
No, they're still on 3G.
I'm gonna go with 3G.
Yeah, we're going 3G.
Yeah, definitely do 3G. No.
And they're gonna come out like Sony did with the Vita of consoles. Like, we have 3G with AT&T.
We have Sprint working exclusively with us for 3G content.
Singular wireless.
Yeah, they do. I think the idea of 4G is a great idea for the Switch next generation. I think that'd be a really cool feature to have for it, especially if it's unlocked and not locked at like AT&T. Ziljan says, unless you want to buy a new laptop, $2,000 every year, don't buy a gaming laptop. You do have the advantage of upgradability with the desktop. So, Juice Man Vaughn says, never forget that. Oh, that man said Zork. I assume that's towards OJ over there.
We got a Zork playthrough at 300 Elite Ninja, boys.
Why are you playing Zork?
Huh?
Why are you playing Zork?
Because Zork is one of the greatest remakes of all time.
Yeah, it's a remake, a text-based remake.
No, yeah, well, it's down in full not 3D,
I
but it's
not
in
have
full
asked
Oh, so
pictures.
that's a reimagining, dude. Relax.
No, it's it's one of the greatest remakes of all time, and I will be playing it at 300 Elite Ninjas, so definitely Elite Ninja up to so you can watch the Zork remake playthrough.
Okay.
Not the original, the remake.
The remake.
Zildjian. Oh, we just did that. Shadow Nexus says, why is there no Jade Empire on current gen console?
Because
well, no, you can play it. You can play it.
You can
play it on the Xbox One. It is backwards compatible. You can play it, but you mean like a new one? I don't know. There was a more creative time back then during the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube era. They were trying, new things. So those are the good days. Tesla Volta Games says Nintendo
Remake
is simply 10 years behind technologically. That is why there is no direct. Well, hey, maybe they're on 3G. Okay, it's tough to
2G.
get back and forth on 2G.
man,
Oh man, they're just not used to
mean to Nintendo.
They're just not used to the remote workplace or work, I guess, structure.
My God,
They just figured out what Skype was. They can call each other that way.
I really hadn't heard of Zoom that much until now. Like, not like how it is now, where everyone's talking about
Dude,
Zoom.
Skype
They
missed
were
the
not
money
prepared.
boat.
Hmm.
Skype missed the money boat, dude.
Gon says, soundtrack question: which video game soundtrack would you listen to more to relax while in quarantine? Ori and the Blind Forest or Celeste? That's a good one. That's a good
Ori.
question.
I haven't heard either.
I think I'm gonna go with Ori as well.
what the hell's wrong with you, Fringe?
I'm gonna go with
Chrono
Ori.
Trigger. Was
There's
Chrono
no
Trigger
Death
on the list?
Stranding on there.
No,
Every day.
they just asked Ori versus Celeste.
No low roar.
Chrono
I can't
Trigger?
pick.
Did he say Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, where's my low roar option at?
Low Roar. Low Roar wasn't even the best soundtrack on the PlayStation 4, Jordan. Best song on the PlayStation 4. Final Fantasy VII Remake has that beat.
I mean, your opinion. It's all right.
Fantasy VII music's bangers, man. Just straight up, like
That
oh my
ending,
God.
that
Oh,
ending.
they're
remake.
both
Yeah, but they're
fantastic.
remakes. They already existed.
No, but they remade.
They remade the music, so not only is the game a remake, the music is a remake.
The
This is
music
incredible.
It's
This is incredible,
It's just
guys.
bangers, and none of it's licensed too. That's the cool thing about it. It's all original, composed, not licensed music. Okay, not taking it at something else and claiming it as its
all you
own.
need is a well put together playlist of good music. There you go. And Kojima's like, you know what? I don't need to make anything. I got this band. They'll do it.
Oh, whoa, they made things. They made some good things.
Hey,
Not
so,
as much.
They also
Dude, come on.
bought a bunch of music too. So
It says, Wishbone says Valhalla could cameo rumor Kratos from God of War.
If you want him to kill everybody, sure.
Could they cameo Kratos in God of War?
For what?
I mean,
Could they make
on
a
the
reference
PlayStation
to it?
side?
They can make a
reference.
They can make a
reference to
reference.
Kratos.
They could do reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could
Absolutely.
do that.
Crazy tattooed man going around killing everybody.
Yeah,
He has
they could do
boy
that.
with him.
Bob says only one: Majora's Mask remake or Majora's Mask HD, like Crash Trilogy remake.
What's the difference?
Evil 2.
I'm getting lost in what's what at this point.
I don't at this point. I don't know. From now on, I'm never gonna address it again. It's just everything's just a game.
Unless it says remake at the end of it, it's not a remake. That's
Well,
the
you know-
rules.
I know, but Resident Evil had a remake at the end of it. It wasn't a remake.
It's not a
confusing
remake,
because
clearly.
Square Enix called Final Fantasy VIII a remaster, but that game's actually a remake because there's no source code for the game. They had to completely remake it, but they called it remaster.
Hey, just like Spyro Reignited Trilogy. They had to remake that from the ground up because guess what? The source code was gone because they hit up Insomniac and they're like, we don't know what happened to it. We don't have it.
I hate to ruin this invigorating conversation, but it's 11:10 right now. Okay.
Go on.
It's actually
We're
8.
remaking the
getting-
Spawncast length.
We're going.
It's a little bit more of a
remaster.
remaster.
It's 8:10. Click.
Yeah, it's only 8:10. Okay.
It's 8:10.
Reimagine.
Then we had Zaire Miller says, "What do you think of Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest?" We talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm looking forward to
get
at least the
Keighley on the
announcements, see how they
podcast.
do it. Yeah.
Let's get Keely on.
I'll fire off the email, Jordan.
Wait,
Don't
Keely
worry.
remastered?
Thank
That's
you.
Black Keely, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh no,
Swag,
that's not gonna go well.
Swag says a launch title for Xbox Series X could be Flight Simulator 2020. That game looks pretty ridiculous. It could be. Yeah. Alex says Series X big announcement is going to be Microsoft Paint. There we go.
Ooh, that's a good remake.
Sonic Boom says, did anyone ever hear how well Doom 64 sold?
No.
They didn't say anything about it, really.
It's
I mean, some
sold?
people just got it straight up with their pre-order, so they didn't really mention it. Alcatraz says, with no new date announced yet, do you think Watch Dogs 3 will come out this year? No, I think that's next year. I think you think that's this year, Nate?
If we see it this week, yes.
Okay, interesting. You think they're going to launch Assassin's Creed and then Watch Dogs same holiday?
Ubisoft be crazy.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
there's been a plan from delaying that game from the get-go to be a launch title. Yeah,
Yes.
Well, that would be stupid.
just like that game existing.
Gods and Monsters, is that going to come out this year too?
That's supposed to be this holiday as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they can have a lot. They can make a lot of money, I guess. But
I mean, if they're the only games coming out, you know.
yeah, and they're all cross-gen though. So I mean, like they're all going to be like PS4, Xbox One. Well, not Watch Dogs, but
One
Switch is going to be included with Gods and Monsters. So I mean, they looks like they're loading up for this holiday.
I feel like they could take Watch Dogs and drop it in like March and be fine with it.
Or they could just forget about it. You know, that's fine too.
Ubisoft hasn't been making anything. Like what Ubisoft games have came out, they haven't really been having.
No, they
anything
pushed.
lately.
They pushed everything.
Yeah,
everything
everything got
back.
pushed back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they delayed everything for next gen.
So they need some revenue to start coming in.
Yeah, they should make another Mario Rabbids game.
Ooh, there's an idea.
That'd be a good idea.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they're working on one.
Let's
Perhaps
see.
they are.
Oh, whoa. What'd you say, Nate?
You really think
that
they're
one
not
of
going to make a sequel to one of the best-selling third-party games on the Switch?
I mean, it's been a while.
I mean, they're not that
third-party?
dumb of a company.
Uh,
They're not EA.
yeah.
I know for a fact though, we're still gonna get Just Dance here, so it's okay.
Okay, good. We're good.
Damn.
And,
Oh my god,
they'll-
we won't get the Just Dance E3 segment where we have
No.
No,
we don't need it. We don't
Elvis
need
come
it.
in.
That entire Ubisoft conference can just go away.
I'm so glad
He's trying to
E3's not
stream Jeff
happening.
Keighley Summerfest.
That was so good.
Ubisoft is
All the
coming for you.
costumes and the choreography and the parade.
And the,
Wasn't so
and the
good for our
copyright
channels.
striking.
Best part of
Yeah.
the whole week.
And the
I just
copyright
want-
striking as well.
Well, Miss
Oh,
Glick's
I
on
don't
Twitch. It
know.
didn't
I
matter.
don't know. Maybe
I just
they're
want
just
Usher to come out and dance again.
Oh man, Jason says, I think we'll see a Tomb Raider game for next gen.
I don't know this early.
That's really I think they'll do another Tomb Raider game.
I think that's a next year announcement.
Roy says, what was your guys' first handheld? Brick Game Boy.
Yep.
At the
Brick
Brick
Yeah.
Game Boy.
Game Boy.
Are we
Yeah.
counting those Tiger Electronics?
Yeah, Tiger
Yeah.
Double Dragon.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you can, yeah, because I had that before a Game Boy technically.
I'm
I wasn't
old. I got a
allowed to
Game-
have one. But I
Game
had a
and
Game Boy
Watch.
Color.
I definitely didn't have a
Ooh.
Game and Watch. No, I had a Tiger Electron. I had like two of those, but
I had a Tiger.
cartridge-based one was just the Game Boy, the Brick Game Boy.
Yeah, Game Boy.
Okay. Ant says, "Hey Spawn, you happen to know whatever happened to the DualShock 4 back button attachment? That thing vanished quickly." Yeah, that thing is gone. I don't know. I mean, I still have mine. I don't know. You know, it'd be smart is if the back of the PS5 controller has like macro buttons. That'd be nice.
You would think that they do that like as a default though, considering the fact that they added that in so late.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice if they had that.
We haven't seen the back, have we? We've only seen the front, or have we seen the back?
We have not seen the back. No, we've seen just the side, kind of like a side shot.
Laying down
So
shot.
you're saying
yeah.
there's a chance.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that they could have macro buttons on.
They probably
on the
won't. So
back.
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'd be nice if they did, though. It'd be nice. I would like that.
Jeez.
Damn.
Oh, we'll find.
Evan went full Nate on that.
Maybe we'll find out in a
Yeah,
month.
well, they won't,
Maybe we
so-
won't. Who knows?
Warbidding, Fallout New Vegas, Outer Worlds, etc. Why not include that? I don't think they're going to have that ready for like 2 years. I think it's going to be a little while before Obsidian's game's ready. I guess they could show it next year, though. Review Tech USA says, should I show cleavage on the next Spawncast?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not even a question. Do it.
How about we get Rich on next week? No, how about we get Rich on next
The
weekend?
question though is whose, Rich? Are you about to like
Oh, he didn't specify.
Oh,
this
yeah,
could go poorly.
we should get Rich on for next weekend for the podcast.
He said awesome in the chat.
Awesome, there he is. Okay, good. So we'll get Rich on next week.
Mine. He clarified. It's his.
Mine.
Okay.
We all know it.
We're gonna have actually, we already have a guest for next podcast, Rich. Let's do the weekend after, because we have an Xbox for next weekend.
John, you're going staticky again.
Oh no, you started
We're
cutting out.
Uh-oh. Sony heard us talk about Last of Us.
John,
Am I still staticky?
John
No,
bought
you're
a
good.
$1,000 mic and it sucks. That's
We
all I gotta say.
$1,000 mic.
It's like 800. Stop it.
We're gonna. I'll talk to you, Rich, on
I
Twitter.
mean, OJ's still rocking the little AirPods you get when you buy like a hat at
the cell
Kohl's.
phone mic. Just chill.
I'll talk to Rich about that though, because next weekend we already have a guest that's for the Xbox event that's taking place. The following weekend though, we'll get Rich on, so we already have 2 guests lined up here.
He's basically saying you're going to steal the spotlight, so you have to give other people a chance. Right?
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to fit everyone into Discord. We ran into that one time where we had so many people that we couldn't fit everyone in Discord. So that's the that's the plan. We'll have that guest next weekend that's already set up, and then Rich the following weekend. So I'll talk to you, Rich, on Twitter. We'll do that. Venacera says Gotcha Force has New Game Plus, gets better each play. Oh, I didn't even know how New Game Plus. Nice, very good. I'll check out Gotcha Force. Aiden Quinn says Joe, voice of Claude in Fire Emblem, followed then unfollowed after.
Oh,
You already started reading. You might as well just finish reading.
What did he say? Is it spoilers?
After giving him not safe for work art of Claude with the message. For you, Daddy. Shout outs to him. Oh man.
Him.
To protect him. Let's see. A few more left here. Google Fish says, why do horses run on courses? Sock on 10 says, which game has better OST?
Go on. Solve the riddle.
Final Fantasy 7 remake, Persona 5, or Xenoblade Chronicles?
What was the question?
Which game has better soundtrack? Final Fantasy 7 remake, Persona 5, or Xenoblade Chronicles?
Persona 5 has a banging soundtrack
That's
so far.
tough, man. I don't know.
I feel like there's 2 different types, though.
They're all really good. That's the thing. Like they're all really
Some
good.
good music though.
Dude, I was in the middle of a battle and like they had lyrics in the music too, and I was like, oh, okay. It was great, dude. Persona 5 all the way. I'll choose.
They're all really good. I don't know which one. I can't pick.
Did that music hit you though, Jordan? The Persona 5 when that battle music, when the music started up?
Dude, it's great. It's fantastic.
You kind of just stopped for a minute. You're like, whoa.
Dude, I was jamming out. I really stopped playing for a minute.
Yeah.
I can't pick.
I almost want to go Persona 5 just because that does hit you pretty hard. Although there is a part in Final Fantasy 7 that hits you really hard in the boss battle with the music that kicks on. Dude, I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Airbuster.
Well, I was gonna say it, but yeah, Airbuster.
Oh my god, bro. It's not a spoiler because they already released the soundtrack.
That's true.
That anybody can listen to beforehand. So
that one hits hard though, and that starts off. You're like, whoa.
That's like workout music when I'm in my backyard working out. That Airbuster theme is sick. So it's hard because they all have their bangers, you know. Then
we have Mario saying Jet Set Radio remake. I agree. That should happen.
Reimagining.
S Black says, how much money did Google pay EA? What's EA's issue? Google probably wrote them a nice check there, I think.
Fact check.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Ryan says, what will Sony drop on the day of the Xbox event? We talked about that. Possibly a silhouette of the system and then a date.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think we're good there. We have all of the Discord questions.
Yep, Discord's
good,
clear.
Evan? Okay, I just want to double check to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Matthew Hammond says, "What would Nintendo not include Mario Galaxy 2 in the Super Mario All Stars 2 bundle?" The original rumor was, I think, piled on that it would, and then that kind of walked back a bit. So I don't think it's going to have Mario Galaxy 2 as well.
I wouldn't expect it at this point.
No, they might hold that all for its own thing. Who knows?
That could be good marketing. Like if you enjoyed the first one, you want to buy the second one if it's by itself.
I could see them doing something with that game a bit more. Maybe even do like a port of it.
In this case,
the next Switch or something.
In this case, it's a re-release.
There we go. And then sit here. Do you guys normally stream this late? Not always. We're into overtime now, but I think we're all finished up here. Let me go around. Miss Click, where can they find you?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming, or I am live almost every day on twitch.tv/MissClick_live. That's mainly where I'm active, other than Twitter. So
Cool. And then what about OJ?
Yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, just Player Essence. I also stream every single day, so if you want to come ask some questions, talk about some stuff, it's a lot of fun. Gonna have some really cool RPG stuff coming up here. Got a cool giveaway that I'm doing. Final Fantasy VII Remake. We got that. Is it remake? Okay. Final Fantasy VII, the PS4 game. The new PS4 game. We're giving that away, the digital deluxe edition. So you guys check that out on Twitter. Ooh. And then we're also teaming up with Nintendo as well. We're going to have a nice giveaway poll. So stay tuned for that in terms of giving away games. So yeah, just Player Essence on YouTube.
What about Nate?
Find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate, where I have the podcast up right now where we talk with Digital Foundry about the PS5 and Xbox Series X and how the SSD and ray tracing could revolutionize gaming. It is a very informative podcast, so everyone should check it out. And then you can find me just at Direct Feed Games. We'll have some gameplay footage of a few upcoming Switch games on the channel next week, and maybe a comparison of a mystery game.
Your Nate the Hate channel starting to overtake your Direct Feed Games channel there, huh?
Not really.
Getting a lot of interest on that Nate the Hate channel there.
It's growing slowly.
Very nice, very nice.
What about Nate the Hate channel? I have a shirt, Nate the Hate shirt that I wear.
I was wearing it yesterday. It's a good shirt.
I've worn it all.
It's actually super comfortable. Like that.
Are there tank tops?
Yeah, I got a tank top. Yeah.
It was pretty well designed too. So I don't know.
It was well designed. But unfortunately, I didn't even buy one for myself.
Nate's a fraud.
Hey, look, there you go, Nate.
No, you know what? That's on brand.
There you go, Nate. See, Juice Man Vaughn saying you got a good podcast there, backing you up.
Yeah, damn right.
Mm-hmm. And then Jordan, where can they find you?
Vaughn spent $5 to say that. That's how you know he's not lying.
There you go. I open Pokemon cards on one place. I talk about movies on another. I'm everywhere. I'm chilling. It's cool. I'm glad to be here.
All right, very cool. And what about Evan?
You can follow me on Twitter. It's Kimrick's Project. If I'm streaming or anything's going on, I think I'm going to be working this week on some more artwork for this guy down there in the corner. So
dude, banging artwork, by the way, man. Holy smokes.
So yeah, we're tearing through it. I think one's just about done, but yeah.
Cool. All right, that'll work. That'll do it here for Spawncast episode 161. We'll be back next weekend. A lot of stuff happening this week, at least with next gen games, right? We'll have the Series X event, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of games to talk about. Should be really fun. We'll see you guys next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Bye.
With the remake.